Warning. As a spoiler warning ahead of time, any game we talk about could be spoiled entirely. So at the beginning, when we're listing categories, if you hear a game that you're currently playing and think, oh no, I don't want to hear anything about that, skip, because we could spoil absolutely anything about it. If you get past this point, you have been warned, and you're on your own if you get spoiled. This was your warning. Warning. Ladies and gentlemen, our friends beyond the binary, welcome to the very first ever I Have More Trophies Than You Game of the Year Podcast 2021. Hello, friends out there. My name is Ryan. I'm one of your hosts here of I Have More Trophies Than You. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. And once again, I fucked that up. Hold on. Wait. I'm Ryan. I'm currently the... Oh, you talked over me. Go ahead.
My name is Chris.
Hey,
My name's Ryan. Fuck! And I'm currently the 86th best gamer in North America.
Hey.
And that's what gives... PSN gamer. And that's what gives me the right to talk about video games. Chris, what gives you the right to talk about video games?
I've worked in games journalism.
Oh, I thought you were just saying, I like them.
I do like them, though.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think... Yeah, I don't work in games journalism anymore, so...
No,
My
it's the funny...
cent in it.
The funny joke is that I play video games for trophies and you play them for fun. So then I would say, I'm this, and then you would say that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, we don't have time for this shit.
I just woke up from a nap. So
okay, great. I got home from work.
My wheels are starting to spin.
I've been working all day. All right, for the listeners, for the friends at home, let me explain how this is going to work tonight. We are wholesale ripping off the idea of the Giant Bomb Game of the Year awards because I just want to do them. Mm-hmm. And we have a list of a little over 20 categories about different things of video games this year that we all played. And we're going to rank them. Now, you're probably asking yourself, you've listened to game podcasts like this in the past, and it's usually a whole bunch of people that come together to talk about games. They all bring games together. They get every category down to a winner and two runners up. But how's that going to only work with two people?
That's true.
It's very simple. Here are the rules. We have already decided on the categories, and we've each made lists of 3 to 5 games that we want to put into that category. If Chris and I both say a game and it matches, it's pretty much into the final. If we don't have enough, if we don't have 3 games that match, then we try to convince each other which game needs to go there. And if we have more games that match, then we're going to whittle. And then we'll choose a winner out of that, and we'll move on. At the end of this, the final category will be Game of the Year, where we will try to make a tiered list of 1 to 10, the top 10 games that came out in 2021.
That is correct.
There is another rule that I have not told Chris about.
Shit, of course. As soon as you said roll with the punches, I was just like, oh, wait. Here's the curveball.
There is a special
Dr. Ryan curveball.
There is a special rule. Now, I do this, Chris. I did this for you. You're gonna appreciate that I did this for you. Each of us has a very special, let's call it like a chip that you can cash in.
Okay.
It cannot be used in on the top 10 game of the year list.
Okay.
But one time during this podcast, if you feel so strongly that something has to win one category, then you cannot convince the other person. You can utter the phrase, I have more opinions than you, and you can immediately call the winner of one award.
Okay. Now, what happens if we both do it at the same time? Is that possible?
Well, fuck. No, it's the first person to say an award. It locks the other person out.
Got it.
But I have a feeling there's one category here I think you're going to strongly want a game for that I don't give a shit about. And then there's probably something that I'll use it for to annoy you.
Now, are you saying because and this is wholeheartedly true, believe that Final Fantasy XIV should win almost every single category?
So when we were talking about this before, I said I didn't want to allow Final Fantasy in this because A, it's an expansion, and B, you'll try to give it every award because I don't mean to be rude in this. You're one of those types of people who will blindly who love something so much they will blindly believe that it deserves every award. And I can't let that happen.
I don't know if I would disagree with that completely, at least. But yeah, the more I looked at a lot of these categories, I was like, yeah, I think there's this that like would make Final Fantasy that, but there's even a category here where I have Final Fantasy in the category, but it does not win it for me. So
here, basically, this is a way for you to at least, because if push comes to shove, Final Fantasy is probably not going to win anything, but now at least it's going to win something.
It will win something.
All right, so we have a bunch of categories. Most of them are pertaining to games of this year, but I want to start. These first two categories are going to go quick because they are pertaining. Actually, wait, hold on really quick. Yeah. I had this idea. Welcome to the 60-second speed round where we're going to give the best to things that aren't video games. So I'm putting 60 seconds on the clock. I'm putting 60 seconds on the clock. I'm going to say something, and you're just going to say what the best is. And at the end of 60 seconds, we're done. Okay, are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go. Best movie, it's Spider-Man.
Matrix 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I liked it.
I thought The Matrix was okay. All right, best TV show of the year. I think you should leave season 2.
Does Beatles Get Back count? Is that a TV
No, that's
show?
A movie. That's a movie.
Okay, then that's my favorite movie. Best show would be Hawkeye. I like.
Or does Beatles Get Back a documentary? You know what? Save that for a documentary.
Got it.
You think Hawkeye? I think you should leave season 2. It was fucking hilarious. Best documentary. Now you can say
Beatles Get Back.
Best documentary was the Defunct Land about Fast Pass.
Oh, I need to watch it. I watched like 10 minutes of it.
It's really fucking good. What else? What's the best book you read this year?
Oh, Wasp, the Unstoppable Wasp. I can't remember the actual like.
That's a comic book, you nerd.
No, this one is a novel.
Okay, well, the best book of the year was the John Moxley autobiography. And 2 seconds left. Oh, fuck, we're done. Okay. Damn. Nope. We didn't do like a best song, but I don't... do you listen to music? I don't really listen to a lot of like new music, so I can't tell you what like the best album of the year was.
I definitely...
Aquabats put out a Christmas album. That's the best album of the year.
I dive into a lot of like new music constantly, but none of my favorites had like a new album this year, so...
Well, there you go. That was the speed round. Okay. The first two categories are going to go quick.
His album. The four
We're out of the 60 seconds. Stop. Okay. The first two categories are going to go quick because they're based around this podcast. And this year they're going to be small, but next year they'll be bigger. And we're going to talk. The first category is going to be the best game we played for an episode.
This is
and the nominees are, what are your 3 nominees?
Okay. I had 4. It was Yakuza.
You can have 4.
Dragon,
okay.
Star
Yakuza,
Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, Hades, and Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Okay, my 3 were Yakuza Like a Dragon, Hades. I actually had 4 also. Resident Evil 7 and Death Stranding.
Okay.
So we know that Yakuza and Hades are going through to the next round.
Right.
So out of Spyro, what was the 4th one you said? I'm sorry. I got
Jedi
Yakuza, Hades, Spyro, and Jedi. So we need to pick out of Spyro, Jedi, Resident Evil 7, and Death Stranding, which one is making it to the top 3. I have to say out of those 4, I would fight the most strongest for RE7. Out of your 2, which one would you pick to fight?
I think Jedi Fallen Order, because that was closely going to be my number 1 choice.
Okay. So then we're going to have a very quick discussion here. One of us has to convince the other one. What was the better game, RE7 versus Jedi Fallen Order? And I have to tell you, Jedi was a very fun game, but I think it wasn't a perfect game. It was fun and it had good story, but there were parts of the combat that sometimes were a little janky. Resident Evil 7 is a perfect game.
I think Resident Evil is a really close to perfect game, but the problem is that it is a game that I don't see myself coming back to on a like yearly basis. Maybe every couple of years I would come back and play it. It's a really solid game, but I love the gameplay in Jedi Fallen Order, even if like the more fun part of it is in the front half because things are just harder then. But even that last half is really fun just because you do get super powerful, just like to have it taken away from you at the last second against the last boss where you're kind of weak again. So not only that, but I'm more interested about the evolution of that game series going forward, because I think it did a lot of great things in its first outing, to whereas Resident Evil, we have had a sequel now. And personally, I think I like Village. There are parts of Village that I like a lot more. I think that Resident Evil 7 does everything better on most parts, but the thing is that where that game is going to keep going is it's going to kind of keep following the line of Resident Evil. I'm not really sure where it evolves from here, whereas I'm excited to see the future of Jedi Fallen Order, so I feel like I'm going to come back to this game at least sooner than Resident Evil.
I feel the exact opposite way. I feel like I come back to Resident Evil all the time to speedrun it, whereas I haven't felt the urge to play Jedi Fallen Order again since I played it. Now, we've run into a trouble. What will we do when we're both butting heads like this? And I have another rule that I haven't told you about.
All right.
Welcome to the addition of the selfless token. If someone doesn't feel that strong compared to the other one and wants to be selfless and take themselves out of it and let the other person have it, they earn a selfless token. And if you cash in 3 selfless tokens, you get an extra I have more opinions than you.
Okay.
So I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm going to say, that's fine.
You know,
we can have Resident Evil 7.
I'm willing to give Resident Evil 7 over.
Too late. No, maybe this rule's too much.
Well, the thing is that...
Okay, how about this? The extra, I have more opinions than you, can only be used for getting something on the list, but not for picking the winner. Okay, so I'm going to let you have... I'll let you have Jedi Fallen Order, but then I get to take a selfless token here. And you know what? Instead of 3, it's 1. I can use this to overrule you later. Or no, it's 2. It's 2. Well, listen, this is hard because there's only 2 of us. But if you feel that strongly about... listen, you know how strongly I feel about Resident Evil 7. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
That's the thing, though. It's not that I would think that Jedi... You know, really... It's more of just my opinion on it, because I think that, like, technically Resident Evil 7 is probably the better game.
Yeah.
But then again, we still haven't decided what the best one is.
Yeah,
so
I mean, we definitely think it has to go between Yakuza and Hades, and I think that's a conversation that we're... whatever
you know what
gets on this list here isn't winning. So, honestly...
I think Resident Evil 7 probably actually gets it.
Okay, well...
I made my case for Jedi, though, but I feel fair. Like Resident Evil is probably better.
You have now admitted that, so you don't get a selfless token.
That's fair.
But okay, so we are taking Resident Evil 7. So now the question is, what was the best game we did an episode? Was it Yakuza Like a Dragon or was it Hades?
It was Yakuza.
It was Yakuza. Oh, that was easy. Okay, great.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay. Well, I thought that was going to be I thought I was going to have to talk you out of the Hades. Like, I love Hades, but I think Yakuza is the better. Okay.
JRPGs get me every time.
Yakuza Like a Dragon was the last game I played of 2020 and the first game I played of 2021, because I started playing it over like the New Year's break. And fuck, I love that world. I can't wait to see more of it. Don't get me wrong, I loved Hades. Like, wow, what a great... Hades will get its due in another category we'll get here into in a second, which might actually be not needed in the long run, but we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But fucking love Hades, but Yakuza Like a Dragon was probably the best JRPG I've played since Persona.
It is such a really solid JRPG. It makes me excited that JRPGs are kind of having this like new renaissance, especially the turn-based. I love turn-based RPGs, and it just kind of feels like everyone's forgotten them or nobody wants to play them because they are archaic or antiquated. And it's like, no, this is how you do it. This is how you do it in modern take.
It's a turn-based JRPG that takes place in a town. There's no magic. It's just like a weird, shitty town RPG. Okay, yes. So the winner of the best game we played for an episode this year is Yakuza Like a Dragon, with runner-ups equally. We're not doing 1, 2, 3. We're just doing equally Hades and Resident Evil 7. Congratulations to Yakuza. Put in some applause music right here. Okay, perfect. Now, the flip side of that. Worst game we played for an episode this year.
Oh, boy.
I only have 1 nominee.
I have 3.
Really?
Yeah.
What are your three?
Because I counted the Olympics 2020.
Oh.
I have, and you're gonna jump on me for this one. I have.
I guess that does count.
Third.
You have what?
Saints Row the third.
That's not going on. No, fuck you. That's not going on the list.
And Final Fantasy 15.
That's absolutely not going on. I will jump through this computer and strangle you. Okay, so I guess I didn't really think about it, but Olympic Games does count, doesn't it? Because we talked about it for a little bit.
We spent 20 minutes talking.
Okay, so it's Final Fantasy 15 and Saints or not Saints Row the Third, then Olympic Games
and
nope, and GTA 5.
Ooh, GTA 5, really?
Well, I hate that game and you hate Saints Row, so
oh man,
what do you want to do about it? No, we won't put either of those on the list because both of us feel strong about it.
They neutralize each other. There we go.
We need a third game. What else the fuck did we talk about this year?
We talked about a lot of games, but like in all honesty, most of them were pretty good. I mean, if we had to put like a bad one on, I'm okay with putting Saints Row there. I mean,
I'm not okay with it. I will literally cancel this podcast.
What if I use my token right now?
If you want to do that, I'll make sure that Final Fantasy never doesn't even get on a list. I will make it I'll make sure that, okay, if you do that, I'll use mine to make Final Fantasy 14 the worst game of the year.
Okay, no.
Don't you fucking dare. Trying to think of, hey, do all the shitty games that I've talked about for the Platinum Report count?
Totally.
Okay, great. Then the third worst game of the year is Violet GOTY.
Okay. That's you know what? I'm that one could be on there, but I think the worst game we played this year was the Olympics.
Honestly, my vote was going to be for Final Fantasy. I forgot that the Olympics counted. I've got that in a different category that we'll be talking about this year. But yes, the worst episode we talked about on a podcast this year was the Olympics 2020. That game fucking sucks.
Yeah,
that game is just press A and it's $40, and sometimes you press A and it doesn't even work. Yeah. All right, I'd like to thank.
That makes me want to go back and play that game.
This is going a lot faster than I thought. I thought this episode was going to be forever.
I think that when we start getting into those later categories,
these ones are going to be quick. Okay, so really quickly, then the next one. Okay, so once again, I'd like to say the worst game that we played for an episode, or that we talked about on an episode, was the Olympics 2020, the official video game Tokyo, with follow-ups, Final Fantasy 15. And every single fucking shitty platinum that I played in third place.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, really quickly, how about we're calling this Best Discovery, which is basically best game that didn't come out this year that we played for the first time this year.
Yeah, okay. So
here are my three.
Go for it.
Hades.
Okay.
Mass Effect. And Overcooked.
Okay.
I might put Mass Effect 2 on there, but I kind of like Mass Effect 1 a little bit more.
I would agree with you there.
That Mass Effect 1's just a little bit better?
Yeah, Mass Effect 1's totally better in my eyes.
What are games that you played this year that you really, really like that did not come out this year? But it has to be a game you played for the first time.
Well, I put Yakuza Like a Dragon here because it came out last year, and I played it this year, and that game. Did
you not play it at all? I couldn't put it on here because I did start playing it last December.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't play it last year. I waited.
I'm going to say that it's disqualified from this category because it already got an award. This award kind of seems superfluous when we've got the other one.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I've got some. I got some left field ones here.
Okay, let's hear them, but let's take Yakuza out.
Okay, we'll take Yakuza out. I have. Then two others, which are Noita and Bean Battles.
Oh, didn't Bean Battles come out this year?
No, Bean Battles came out in 2018.
Okay.
And
all right,
that game is fucking phenomenal.
You love Bean Battles, and so I think it needs to go through. I feel very strongly that Hades and Mass Effect need to go through.
Hades and Mass Effect.
Would you be okay with Bean Battles, Hades, and Mass Effect? Or do you feel like Hades should also be disqualified because it was in the top of games we did an episode on.
Disqualify Hades.
Okay, let's disqualify Hades. That I feel very strongly that Mass Effect needs to go on this list.
I would accept Mass Effect. And then the only other thing is, man, Noita is such a, like, that's one game that I've constantly told you, like, if you, if office hours start rolling around again, I would love to see you play it because the game is just beautiful. 2, it's a really fun roguelike. And then 3, the Twitch integration is so fucking fun.
Yeah, you have to. Okay, I'm going to take a selfless token, and I'm going to say that you care about Noita more than I care about Overcooked. So I think it's Bean Battles, Mass Effect, and Noita. But what do we pick as a winner? Because you know what I want. I think Mass Effect is the best game out of these 3.
Bean Battles is better than Mass Effect. I'll go on record. You're
fucking crazy, man.
I am. This game is so good. Okay, first of all, the game is just this really basic, just battle royale game where you play as fucking beans, and the rounds move really quick. So you play like a set instead of just one big long match, and you only play with like 8 friends. But the thing is that we started playing this game probably early this year, and I have like 50 hours in the game. I'm level 50 in the game. I have almost like every item you can unlock, and it is something that we were just playing at Christmas Eve. Like, that game is so good. It's one that in Discord we just constantly, like, when the night starts to slow down, everyone's just kind of like, what do we do? And it's like, Bean Battles? And it's like, yeah, because it's a dirt cheap game. So if anyone doesn't have it, you can go onto Steam and probably buy it for like $0.25 right now. 25 cents. And it is so easy to just turn on, and it's so fun. It's just chaotic, and you can lose hours in it just because of how goofy it is. And it's kind of just one of those that we just go through all the maps, and then once we've done it, we're just like, oh, okay, cool, we're done. And then everyone kind of, parts.
Yeah.
So,
but in Mass Effect, I named my guy Fred Claus Shepard, and I banged a blue alien lady and saw a butt.
Well,
and I got a trophy for seeing that butt. I got a trophy for
of course.
Dude, listen, I know Bean Battle seems really cool, but it's fucking Mass Effect.
Yeah, but Mass Effect, like, we know where it goes.
You know what?
And it doesn't
You're right.
go in a right.
There is a category later. Once again, I think Mass Effect will get its due, and I will fight you tooth and nail. There's another category that we'll be doing very soon that I think Mass Effect is going to get its due in. So I'm okay with Bean Battles winning this.
Dude, let's give Bean Battles a fucking game award.
Congratulations. We're the only podcast that is brave enough to name the best discovery. Because you never played it before this year, right?
Yeah, I haven't played it before this year. And guess what? You at home listening to this, you've probably not played this before.
So that's probably true. So
it is now probably going into 2022 right now. Make this your 2022 discovery of the year, because
the best. Because today is the 34th.
It is. The final day of the year.
Today's the last final day of the year. Man, can you believe what can we call that'll happen in the next 2 days? It could be crazy, because John Madden just died like an hour ago.
Could you imagine if we had said just 2 hours?
Who's gonna wait? Okay, let's call our shot right now. What celebrity is gonna die in the next 3 days? Man, I felt really bad when
Betty White died.
Don't say Betty White. I knew you were gonna say that, and it's too easy. I'm trying to think of another old person. Who's like a sickly old person?
No,
you're gonna get us in trouble. It was really surprising when Kathy Griffin fell off that bridge.
Yeah, that was tragic. Bungee jumping accident.
Yeah,
didn't even have the belt on and just fell.
And also, the other one that I can't believe passed away was Andy Dick, heroin overdose.
That's
a pretty safe bet. All right. The award for best discovery of game we played that didn't come out this year goes to Bean Battles, with runner-ups Mass Effect and Noita.
Yeah.
All right, next one is a very important award, because after this one, we're going to get into the real awards. But this is the award that's going to tell you later when you're like, why didn't you nominate this? And the question is, we didn't play it, because this is the award for best game that we didn't play that came out this year, but we probably should have. Neither of us are professional games journalists.
It's true.
At the moment. And so some games slip through the cracks. So here is the best I've got 4 games on here. Probably I've got 3 games on here. I don't need to name this one. I got 3 games on here that are games I know I definitely need to play, but just never got around to. And my 3 are Returnal,
Okay.
Psychonauts 2, and Death's Door.
Okay.
What do you got?
Mine are Shin Megami Tensei 5, Crash 4, It's About Time, It Takes Two, Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars.
We can't give it to It Takes Two. We can't give it to It Takes Two because I have platinumed It Takes Two.
Gotcha.
So we can't give it to that one. Okay, so we have Returnal on here.
Yeah, we both have Returnal.
Okay, I really very strongly want to put Psychonauts 2 on this list because I have heard nonstop. I love Psychonauts.
We can't.
The only reason. Oh, did you play Psychonauts 2?
Psychonauts 2.
Okay, we didn't play Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
Hey man, I really want to play that game. Is it good?
It's fucking great. It's really good. I was blown away by it. I couldn't believe it.
The only reason I haven't bought it is because I'm still holding out hope they're going to put out a physical version. And I don't want to buy it digitally. But like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Okay,
so Returnal, Death's Door, SMT5. I refuse to let Crash 4 be on this list because fuck that game. What was the other one you said?
Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars. This is the new Yoko Taro game.
Oh, let's put that on there.
Yeah.
Returnal, Voice of Cards, and then I've heard a lot about Death's Door.
Yeah, me too. That honestly should probably be on my list because it looks fucking great. And
how do you feel about Returnal, Voice of Cards, Death's Door?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and then the winner is probably Returnal, right?
Yeah, we both had Returnal. That's definitely a game that I really want to play it. I love roguelites, and I just don't have a PS5, so it's just...
I own the game and just haven't gotten around to playing it because I've heard that it was busted. Apparently in the beginning it would crash, you would lose your save, but they've apparently updated it now to let you save and quit, and so you don't get that problem anymore. So now that that's up, I really am looking to play it in 2022. So... Hey, these are going great and quick. I knew these first 4 were going to be really quick. So
I have a feeling that we will probably do Returnal next year.
I will almost guarantee that there will be an episode next year on Returnal.
Yeah.
So congratulations. The best game we didn't play but probably should have goes to Returnal with runners-up Death's Door and what the fuck is that Yoko Taro game called?
Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars.
What the fuck is that on?
The Switch.
Fuck off. Okay. All right. So those are the easy ones. Now we're going to get into some real legitimate categories. These might take some... Well, this next one might be quick also. But after that, we're going to get into more discussions because I just feel like we are running through these. But that's okay.
Yeah.
The next category is Best Remake, Remaster, Reimagine, or something like that.
Yeah.
These are games that already came out and were remade or re-put out this year, with the exception that this is not just ports. You can't just have put your game on. This has to include either
some kind of enhancement to it.
It has to be an enhancement, an upgrade, or all the DLC.
Right.
Would you like to go yours first?
Sure. I have Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, and Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
That's funny. You know what I have?
Huh.
I have Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Okay.
I have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Really? Okay.
I have, and then 2 you don't have. I have Control PS5 Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
Which I might disqualify that because it is just the game and the DLC up-res. But then I also have Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Gotcha.
So we know 2 that are going through. Let's have a quick discussion. Does Control count, or is it just a port?
That and Death Stranding, the only reason why Death Stranding didn't make it here for me was because it felt more of a port to me. It's something that came out very recently.
Material.
It does.
It has a lot of new material.
But it kind of didn't meet that at least 5-year period where I'm like, this is something that was remade or remastered. It's something that is contemporary. Now,
the question about the Super Mario World with Bowser's Fury is like a new video. Totally that's not really. That's a new video game. I would say that Bowser's Fury should be its own thing in other categories.
It's kind of hard to separate the two, right? Because it doesn't come separate.
Not really. Yeah, but they
buy Mario 3.
But the thing is, that's true. But they have a launcher And so it is two separate games on the same package. I think Bowser's Fury is its own game that you could nominate for other awards. So I think you have to be looking at this as just the other thing, and that is literally just the game on. Like, that's not anything new.
I would put Mario 3D World though in this category because I think that is probably one of the best Mario 3D games.
See, but if we're going that way, then I think Control counts, and I'll fight for Control for the rest of my life because it's for the greatest game of that got put out last generation, other than Persona.
Here's my only thing is that Control doesn't give you anything more, and at least Mario 3D World gives you like a whole new game with it.
I would contend that we don't put either of these on the list.
Okay.
And instead we put Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut because that had a whole new island.
I still haven't played Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, well, I'm going to just speak for you and say it's better than Super Mario Brothers 3D World. So.
3D World's so good. I almost 100% of that game, too. I only have, like, 2 little things left. Well,
okay, fine.
Really
fine. I'll take another selfless token. I have 2 selfless
collecting
tokens.
These.
Yeah, because you're every single category, you're getting your shit in.
That's
all right.
True.
So the question is, it's between Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Scott Pilgrim. Okay. I want to say that I think it's great. Listen, Scott Pilgrim was basically a lost video game.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they're able to bring it out this year. And that's fucking rules. But as someone who never played any of fucking Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, I finished the whole trilogy within the last couple months. Right. And I'll fucking punch you in the face if that doesn't win this award. What a great collection. Holy shit. And it did something that a video game hasn't done yet for me as a trophy hunter, which is it is the first like one of these games to be a multi-game pack that also had a trilogy spanning trophy list of extra trophies to do between the games.
That is really neat.
Why don't more games do that? It's so fucking cool. I think the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is by far the best remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, of the year, because it brought number one, it made Mass Effect 3 playable by cutting out all of that shitty multiplayer. I looked that up. That looked like shit.
That's right. I forgot that they kind of like added that in at the last minute.
It allowed better ways to play the original Mass Effect. And all 3 games are great. That's my argument. I think that as great as it is that Scott Pilgrim came out, and as fun, that game, it's great because it was lost media, but at the end of the day, Scott Pilgrim game is fine. It's not the best game ever made. It's just great that it came back out, but Mass Effect has to win this award.
It is a really solid beat 'em up, though.
It's a solid beat 'em up, but it's the Mass Effect trilogy, dude.
Yeah, but I feel like Mass Effect 1 is a very high game for me.
They're all. Hey, I wanted to say this right now. Mm-hmm. They're all great.
Mass Effect 2 is really good too,
and I enjoyed Mass Effect 3. I thought it played well. Yeah. I liked everything. Sure, the ending's a little like, but that doesn't take away anything from me. I think Mass Effect Legendary Edition has to win this award. It is a complete package that does something new, and I think Scott Pilgrim's biggest thing is just that it was a lost game that was brought back out, and that's great. I'm glad that I own it.
But let me pose this question.
Okay.
When do you see yourself replaying either of these games? Like, could you see yourself playing Scott Pilgrim more simply just because it's something that's easier to pick up and play, and it's also multiplayer?
Well, this is a bad question because you know that once I platinum a game, I don't give a shit and I never go back to it. So replayability doesn't matter for me.
But if you had the option to go back and play it,
Mass Effect. Yeah. There are so many. I want to see what happens if I go Renegade. I want to see what happens if I make different decisions. I want to try different. I went through the whole trilogy as a soldier. I'd like to try it as different classes. Mm-hmm. Scott Pilgrim is it's like, you want to play Scott Pilgrim online? Okay, I'll fuck around for a little bit. And that'll just be a reason as an excuse to hang out with somebody. I want to play Mass Effect by myself with nobody else. And I just want to, I get why, listen, it's not my favorite game of all time, but I get why fuckers still have like N7 tattoos. Right. This game is great.
But Scott,
and remember how I said, how earlier I like, shut up.
And it looks
remember how earlier when I was like, fine, I'll let you have bean battles because Mass Effect will get its due later. This is where Mass Effect is getting its due, you fuck.
Look, I'm only putting up the fight for Scott Pilgrim just because I know that Mass Effect totally deserves
the
it.
winner is Mass Effect. I'd like to congratulate the best remake, remaster, whatever, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which more video games, I'm begging you, do this. Put a trophy list on your launcher, and then have all your trophy lists for the games that you put in your collections, but have arc-spanning trophies. That shit was awesome.
That's cool. That's such a unique thing to do too. Once you've got the trilogy done, to then put it all together, throw it back out, and then you can just put in just a couple little things that give that player who's going to replay it, little treats to just kind of pick up as they go along. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
I like it a lot. So that's our winner with our runners up: Scott Pilgrim versus the World Complete Edition, and Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Fuck it. That's what we're doing.
Wait, we're not putting Mario here?
No, we're putting Ghost. That's too late. We moved on.
All right.
Too late, buddy. The next award, Best Accessibility Options.
Ooh. Okay. I've got
All right. I've got 4.
I have 3.
I have Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Far Cry 6, and Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
Interesting.
What do you have?
I have Horizon. Oh my god.
Forza Horizon.
All day today, I've been just calling Forza Horizon 5 just Horizon, and I don't know why I think my
Forza Horizon Zero Dawn. Alloy drifts on fucking animals.
Dinosaurs. Wouldn't that be tight? Forza Horizon 5, Far Cry 6, and Deathloop.
Remember the accessibility options in Deathloop.
Deathloop, it's the one thing is that it's very early. It just kind of puts it there in front of you, and it gives you the opportunity to just tune everything really quick. So we know simple things like text, everything, but it's not as far along as something like Forza is, because Forza Horizon 5 is one of the best accessible games I've ever seen in my life.
I still don't understand the idea of this is legitimate. I want to have this discussion.
Yeah, totally.
I don't understand the idea of having an ASL translator on screen when you could just put text on the screen.
So it's a weird thing, right? Because you could have different inflection in the way that the ASL interpreter is moving. Which you don't get from text, which to add in, it's like, you could further than say the character should be portraying that, but it can be hard to look at text and a character at the same time. So
isn't it hard to look at someone doing sign and driving at the same time?
Well, cause it's only during cutscenes and stuff. They don't really have
whatever.
Yeah, they're just small cutscenes.
I would like to really quickly talk about some accessibility options in Chicory that I thought were they have. That is it. I don't know if you've played Chicory.
Not yet. We've been talking about it a little bit.
It's really good. I recently just finished it, but I haven't platinumed it yet. That game is okay. Full disclosure: Chicory, as far as I'm concerned, is a allegory game about dealing with depression.
Okay.
As someone who never has, some of it didn't really land on me.
Gotcha.
But I get what they're doing. But their accessibility options are the first games I've ever seen where you can straight up put up trigger warnings.
I love that. That's amazing.
That seemed pretty up there.
Because I really wish Final Fantasy had trigger warnings in it.
It's a game all about color, and they were smart enough to put in a colorblind option.
Okay. Well, of course, yeah.
Also, it's got sliders for everything. Also, it's really fun. All of their options are not just turn this on. It's hey, do you want sad things? Yeah, nah. Do you want motion blur on this? Yeah, pretty cool. Not really. It's all in universe, which is kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And then Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has pretty much anything that you could possibly think of, because it's not. Yeah, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. No, who makes? I want to say Naughty Dog. It's not Naughty Dog. It's Insomniac. Sorry. Yeah. I always fuck all those up. Insomniac literally thought of everything that you could possibly think of to make an accessibility option. every color, every sound, everything, all the gameplay.
There's one huge thing that just pushes Horizon over for me, because it is a game where you self-insert yourself, right? And it lets
Is it? I don't know. All I know is you drive cars.
Yeah, well, like you have you have a drivatar, which is like the dumbest thing in the world. Like you make a character, right?
I hate it already.
But you can have they, them pronouns.
Oh, okay, for you.
That's fucking amazing. Like when I had that, I was like, oh my god, this is my game of the year.
Horizon.
Love it.
Forza Horizon 5 seems like it's making it on. Far Cry 6 is making it on because we both agreed. And then I'm going to pick the third one since you got Forza on there. Sure. And it's hard because Guardians of the Galaxy has really good accessibility options too. To the point where it's got like every single custom difficulty you can think of.
That's right. You were talking about this in the one of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of that. That's amazing. Honestly, hearing the trigger warning stuff with Chicory really makes me happy because there was a scene in Final Fantasy XIV in the newest expansion that really fucked me up. Like, I'm somebody who deals with depression.
We should probably have said at the beginning, we might spoil these games.
Yeah, just like
hold on.
Yeah, there's a scene in Final Fantasy XIV where a guy shoots himself in the head, and it is a very sad scene, and it's like his brains are splattered across like the
in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, like it's a Garlean moment, and it is because it's the moment of like we're going there and being like, let us help you, and they're like, no, we've been enemies forever. Your magics are fucked up and weird, and the guy like. We're like, hey, look, you're fucked. Everyone's going to die. We're going to take your people and try to get them some help. And he's just like, well, for Garlemald, boom, shoots him fucking brains across the fucking floor. And I was like, oh my God. Because then it's like you just see like there's a smoking gun on the floor and everything. And
I'm kind of interested in seeing that. I'm kind of interested in seeing that just because like Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have the best graphics. How did like...
I mean, the graphics are really good. I mean, despite it still being
I guess is it an in-game cutscene? Is it an in-game cutscene?
Yeah.
Was it an in-game cutscene or an out-of-game cutscene? Because if they're using the in-game engine, I don't see how they could do that.
Well, I would say even all the in-game engine stuff is pretty good. So, yep, it's all right.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah. But it was something that it really like. I'm someone who deals a lot with depression and thoughts like that and stuff. And
you should probably play Chicory. I think it would like. I really like it. We'll talk about it in later categories. We're going to talk about it in later categories because I had a really fun time with it because it's mostly just a puzzle game. But like, I no disrespect to it, but it was talking a lot about just like sometimes dealing with depression and everything, and it's not trying to bag on anyone.
Oh, totally.
Thankfully, my life is very good, and it was just like, oh, yeah, I can sympathize, but I've never really gone through this, so I don't really get it. But I feel like it would be more up your hey, you should play Chicory next year.
I'm gonna check. You know what? I'll try and check it out before the next episode.
That being said, I'm still, I think, gonna give it to. I gotta give it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's fair. Yeah, I like the
fact that you can modify literally everything about that game. Plus, they have like all the other accessibility options you can need.
I do like that. Okay, no,
it's Square Enix. I mean, we both agreed it's got to be Far Cry 6, right?
Oh man,
because we both said Far Cry 6. It's the one that matches.
That's true.
Once again, we haven't really talked about Far Cry 6's accessibility options. They have text-to-speech. They have every single type of colorblind or like option you can use for sight. They have the things that I used, which is sometimes when I'm moving fast, the collectibles in that game look like the rest of the game. So you have the option to outline them at all times. You have the option to outline enemies at all time in case you don't see where things are moving. And then, the game literally loads, and the first thing that happens is it says, "Welcome to Far Cry 6." And like those options are on. It's not a thing you have to go search for. It's just assuming here are all the accessibility options. We've turned them on. You can turn off the ones you don't need. We just assume you need them.
Yeah, I like
that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
And we both agreed on it. I think it's only fair, right? But man,
I'm gonna go back on what I said. I'm not gonna give it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-oh.
No, I am gonna give it. I'm just thinking how Ratchet and Clank had also a lot. You know what? Yeah, no, fuck it. I'm going, fuck Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank also had, like, everything that... I I swear it's like Insomniac went to Naughty Dog and just said, "Can we have all your accessibility options?" And Naughty Dog went, "Yeah, that's cool," because they included everything on a gameplay aspect but also no, fuck it. I'm gonna go back again. It's going to Chicory. Chicory just had the thing about their accessibility options is they had a shitload of them, and they're in universe. I like that touch.
Yeah.
When you play the game, you'll understand. Okay, yeah. So the best accessibility options of the year are going to Far Cry 6 with runners-up Forza Horizon 5 and Chicory: A Colorful Tale.
Love it.
But Deathloops were really good too.
Well,
you know what? Best accessibility options this year is going to Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Deathloop, Chicory, Ratchet and Clank, and Guardians of the Galaxy. All accessibility options are great. None are better than the other. Everyone wins an award.
For real. You guys are exemplary and putting out more and more accessibility options.
Yeah,
and thank you for.
It's great that more people. It's great that people are able to play more video games, and I'm happy that video games can get to a bigger basis. And also, once again, selfishly, I love that I can use it to get trophies easier. I feel no shame in saying that, but I'm also glad for the people that need them.
Hell yeah.
Okay, next category. We're going to go to. You know what? Let's go down this. Best new character.
Okay.
This is for a character from a video game that has not ever been in a video game before. So it can't be someone's like how to really, not someone from a game that was like in a past. It's got to be a new character. This is their first time in a game.
Right. This one was really hard for me because didn't really play a lot of games that had like new characters.
Really?
Yeah.
This was very easy for me. I have a couple really good ones. Do you want me to say mine first?
Yeah,
then?
go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna nominate 4.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Cole from Deathloop. I've got Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. I've got Heisenberg from Resident Evil Village. You know what? That's it. I'm going to do those 3. Okay. Cole, Heisenberg, and Mantis. What do you got? No, I'll say my 4th. I would also say the other one was Juliana from Deathloop, but the only thing is she does get kind of grating by the end.
Yeah, that I didn't put her because I was...
No, you know what? Fuck her. No, she's good in the beginning, but then she gets a kind of whatever. So I got Cole, Heisenberg, and Mantis. What do you got?
Okay, so I have Future Tana from Crash 4 because I think she is a different character. Simply because she is. She's a different parallel timeline. So Future Tana, shout outs to her.
No, that's the same character with a different... No, that doesn't count. Go ahead.
That's totally a different character.
That doesn't count. Go ahead. What's your next one?
I've got Heisenberg from Village.
Heisenberg, okay.
I've got Colt from Deathloop. And I have... this one was really hard. I wasn't going to include it, but I have Meteon from Final Fantasy XIV, who is a new character.
Let me tell you... Okay, so Colt and Heisenberg make it through. Let me tell you why Mantis from the Guardians of the Galaxy, as a Marvel fan, why Mantis deserves to be on this list.
Mm-hmm.
This Mantis is not like the ones from the movies or the comic books who's like, oh, I'm Mantis and I don't know what's going on. In this one, this is a Mantis who can see all possible timelines at the same time and is just trying to guide the Guardians of the Galaxy through this point. And she keeps talking, oh good, this isn't the reality where that thing, or this isn't the one. She just kept talking about, because she can see them all. She's like, this is the one, that's the one.
She can see Neo?
She can, she's constantly being heralded as the Celestial Madonna, and she's got an entire like cult that is always like tending to her, refining to her, and she just thinks it's hilarious. She's actively trying to help the Guardians, but also telling them about like, oh, good, this isn't the one where Rocky gets sucked into that propeller over there. She's fucking hilarious. She also has a very, very touching scene, like with you're trying to get Drax back from. I don't want to spoil. I know we said spoilers up, but I want you to play this game, so I don't want to say too many spoilers. But there's this whole thing with Drax where she is like the kind of the emotional support lead there, and she's fucking hilarious. She's great in an emotional role, and she is a cornerstone of the story of that game. I think Mantis has to be on this list. And she's never been in a video game before.
I mean, you should go to Google Images and type in Tana. And
she's not
check
a
out
new
those
character.
Images that pop up.
Not a new character. Like the same character from an alternate timeline. It's still the same character. I'm semantically not allowing it on this list. You know what? Fuck you. I'm using my 2 selfless tokens. Mantis is going on this list.
Okay, that's fair because I'll allow that.
Okay.
I'll allow it. I do like my reason
Chris,
for having Medion.
Play that game next year. You need to play Guardians of the Galaxy
because everyone keeps talking about it now. So I'm like,
it's so
I guess
fucking good.
I want to check it out.
We have a category later called Best Surprise. Guess what? I'll be talking about this fucking game.
The only reason I included Medion, this was kind of more of just to round out the list a little bit more. I think she's a great character. It's she didn't win this category for me though, just simply because while she is still a great addition to the cast, it's a little cheapened because she's somebody who's introduced very late into it and becomes the biggest crux of everything. So it's kind of like, well, you know, it would have been, I think there would have been more of a payoff if it was something that was embedded maybe a couple expansions ago or something, or just clues into it. And I guess you could argue that there is some hints towards her in like Shadowbringers, but not enough to give it more weight, I guess. In the end, it's a very touching story that she has. I cried a lot for this character, and of course, as soon as I saw her on screen, I was like, if anyone hurts this fucking sweet being, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. And it was unfortunately, you know, they definitely do something.
Can I offer you a compromise here?
Yeah.
I'm willing to take off Heisenberg and we can make it Colt, Mantis, and Metreon if you really feel that. I love Heisenberg.
No, because the thing is that like she's lower in my list because I think Heisenberg, like the thing about Heisenberg's that is great.
Well, so let's get into the conversation we should get into the conversation, which is the better character, because it's going to be our winner. Is it Heisenberg or is it Colt?
I like Heisenberg a lot more.
And see, I think I like Colt just a little bit more. Let's have this conversation and let's really talk it out.
Yeah.
What do you like? I love Heisenberg. But you haven't played. Did you play Deathloop?
Yeah, I've actually been playing Deathloop.
Oh yeah, you're playing on PC, right?
I am, and
the thing about Colt is that I love that he is a main character who is basically a self-insert for the player, because Colt has no idea what the fuck is going on, and you can feel his frustration when you're frustrated, but his humor when he has his humor, and as he realizes it, I think the guy who plays him, whose name is, I wrote it down here, whose name is Jason E. Kelly, did a fantastic fucking job playing Colt.
I agree to a certain extent with that. Or at least in the analysis of the character. I think he does an amazing job playing the character, Jason E. Kelly. But the problem with Colt for me is that I get very tired of his dialogue. And that may be a writing thing more than it's just the character, because I think the character is very cool. I think he's very fun. I love playing as him. And there are a lot of moments where he does bring a lot of levity to like the situation, or like just even what you're doing running around the world when you are frustrated. But the problem for me is that kind of stuff gets very tiresome very fast. So with Heisenberg, I just feel like he's somebody that...
Is there something to be said about the fact that Heisenberg only has 4 cutscenes in the entire game?
I think that's fair, but I think his...
That's why I didn't nominate Lady D, because I think Lady D is the thing that everyone's saying is the best new character, but Lady D is only in the game for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu.
Yeah, that's true. And I get like... I get why you would nominate her, though, because she is that very, you know, she's the first fourth of the game. That first castle is one of the longer, you know, of the 4 that you get to play through.
I would say that her and Heisenberg's part are about the same length.
Yeah.
Heisenberg's might be a little bit longer, but also Heisenberg's not even in his own part.
Right. But I love Heisenberg's like motivation. I love how he kind of like meets you to like meet on your level and just kind of be like, dude, like she's crazy. Like, let's team up. we'll take Rose and we'll take over this stuff. Like, I kind of like that angle of him
you're
a
right.
lot. Whereas, like, Colt's great. But again, he is just kind of more of a self-insert. But if you're going to put in a self-insert, just kind of make that a voiceless character.
No, but I think that Colt being voiceless would have ruined the mood of that game is set by Colt's frustration and Colt and him learning. And I think like if you make Colt is not only the self-insert character, but also Colt is how far are you into the game?
Just like 5-ish hours or something like that.
Have you met the other Colts?
I've met a couple.
Okay, so he's also a character that can just show up.
Yeah, and I did like that, but I don't know if that's like. I guess it is him, but I don't know. The dialogue for me in that game just kind of gets grating after a while, to where like I kind of just stop listening to it, and I think that's kind of a negative thing. That's like a huge negative to me, because if I don't want to listen to the characters talk, then like what's the purpose of having them have a voice, right?
Can I go back and add the new character from Persona 5 Strikers into here?
Yeah, let's do that.
No, I like Mantis a lot. All right, fine. You know what? You're right. Sure. Okay, I'll go with it. All right, the winner of the best new character is Heisenberg from Resident Evil 8 Village, with runners-up Colt Vaughn from Deathloop and Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I didn't tell you about this category. Next category, worst new character.
Oh, okay.
And I've nominated 3 characters. Are you ready? It's the fucking book from It Takes Two. It's that shitty dad from It Takes Two. And it's that shrill-ass mom from It Takes Two. I like It Takes Two. It is a fun game. All the characters in that game fucking suck.
You
haven't played it yet, right?
Can I add, what's her name? Is Juliana or whatever from Deathloop?
No, absolutely not. She's good. I like her. She gets a little annoying at the end, but that's because the game is wrapping up.
It's annoying like 20 minutes.
You should play It Takes Two with your wife.
Yeah.
You guys will have a fun time because the gameplay is fun, but the story of that game is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you know the story of It Takes Two?
I've watched a lot of it, yeah.
Welcome to me dumping on It Takes Two. It Takes Two is a story about 2 people that hate each other and then pushing the theory that, well, you got a kid, so you got to stay together for the kids.
Ugh.
And you'll find out that you love each other. Those 2 people, I've never met 2 characters that more than ever needed to get a fucking divorce.
Like, I lived through that as a child, so I don't want to play.
I didn't. Thankfully, my parents, awesome parents, love my mom and dad, couldn't ask for better parents. I couldn't imagine being that fucking child. So the worst character of 2022, 2021.
All 3 of them.
No, it's fucking Joseph Fares, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Fuck you for writing this game.
Hey, congratulations on winning another Game of the Year.
Yeah, to put that next to your fucking Game Award, you piece of shit. All right, that was me dunking on It Takes Two, which, by the way, is one of my top 10 games of the year. It's a real fun game.
Oh, boy.
All right. Now, this being said, we had a category for best performance, but it's all just the same people we just talked about. Do we need a best performance category?
I don't. We'll see.
Do you have anybody on here that we didn't just talk about? Because mine is mine's Cole. Mine is literally Cole, Heisenberg, and Mantis again.
I have Richard Horowitz as Raz from Psychonauts 2, because he does a really good job in it.
You know what? Fuck it, he wins.
And then I have Renee Zellweger from Final Fantasy.
No, it's over. No, it's over. The guy that plays Raz, that guy does a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, he was in Vader Zim and a bunch of other.
Yeah. That guy wins an award for best performance of a guy who his voice I recognize.
Yeah.
All right. These are going good, man.
Yeah.
Let's go a little technical.
Okay.
Let's start with the category Best Graphics.
Best graphic.
Now, this is a category, we're not talking like, these are like what game actually looks the best. Like, this is technical, like, this is the best looking game of 2021. Well, we have another category for like we have a best style category. We'll get there. But this is the game that actually looks the best on your television or your computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3. What do you got?
Let me find my category. There it is. I've got 3.
Okay, I've got Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Deathloop. What do you got?
I have new Pokemon Snap, Halo Infinite, and Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, none of ours match.
Hey, this is the first one.
Okay. First of all, I've got to say, I want you right now to pick your top out of those 3, and I'll pick my top. I know what my top is, and it's Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
My top is Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart on the PS5. Literally, I've said this before, it looks like you're playing a Pixar movie. Like, it looks like you're playing something made by Pixar for playing on a television screen, and yet somehow it moves. I need that on this list. Which one do you need on this list?
Forza. That game is too fucking beautiful. I mean, car games always look beautiful.
I absolutely agree with that. I've seen a lot of Forza, and it needs to be on this list. What were you? Okay, so I've got Village and Deathloop. You've got new Pokemon Snap, and what was the other one?
Halo Infinite.
Halo. I've seen new Pokemon Snap. It looks fine, but I don't think it holds up to the rest of these.
That's fair. I do think it is a really pretty game. It's worth the shout out, but yeah, I totally agree.
I'm willing to cut Deathloop from this list. I think it looks great. I love the stylized, but comparatively to the other 2, it is a little cartoonish compared to like the graphics powerhouse that is Ratchet and Forza.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Village and I'm sorry, what was the other one?
Halo.
I think Halo looks like dog shit. Everything is a muddy brown color, and then some dudes show up. Granted, I haven't played it. I've just watched people play it, but I don't think it looks anything special. Resident Evil Village looks disgusting in the best way possible.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. This was another hard category for me because it's like it's easily Forza for me just because it looks so beautiful and everything that you do feels great, looks great. And Halo, it's like, yeah, it looks great. But it's graphics, you know?
It's the graphics. It's graphics for me.
It's graphics.
Okay. So we've got our 3. It's Ratchet, it's Village, and it's Forza. Yeah. But it sounds like you're going Forza. I have to say, I'm putting my foot down.
Uh-huh.
The reason to own a PS5 graphics-wise is Ratchet and Clank. I've seen Forza, and I absolutely agree it needs to be on this list. But Ratchet and Clank looks like it was made for $1 billion by award-winning studio Pixar. Whereas, dude, Forza looks great, and car games usually look great. Ratchet and Clank looks like a moving cartoon.
Really does. Like
I want to show you. I want to show you a sequence from that game.
Okay.
Go to about 45 seconds and watch it for like a minute. And tell me that the fact that this so seamlessly goes from a cutscene to playable and the way that it looks isn't fucking amazing.
At least the pirates are taken care of.
God damn. It does look good.
How seamlessly, though, also because of the SSD of the PS5, how seamlessly it moves from being a full cutscene to being this, like, so the scene we're watching, if you don't know, it's a part in the game where you're basically doing a rail grinding part where a giant robot that looks like the Iron Giant is actively trying to kill you. And it goes from cutscene to video game to cutscene to video game seamlessly. And it's high pace. Everything is moving around you. It's kinetic. Fuck, this game looks so beautiful.
Yeah, this is probably the game I want to play the most on the PS5. Like,
buy a PS5, you piece of shit. Buy a fucking PS5.
It is ever the conversation in the house right now.
Okay. Well, the conversation is do it. And then look how great that looks when you go through the fucking like portals and shit. This wins.
Yeah.
Forza is great, and I think it's a winner-up, but the winner of this category has to be Ratchet and Clank.
I would have to give it to it simply just because it's like, well, it's more than just kind of driving cars, which is Forza. That's it, you know?
I think that Forza is great. I've seen footage of it. It looks really good when you drive that car.
But
and I don't want to knock
running
it
around, hopping off of rails.
Running around as a fucking Lombax.
Yeah, like running on walls, having fucking giant robots trying to grab you and shit. Like, the shit looks so fucking fun and cool. Like, yeah.
Best graphics go to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, with runners-up Forza Horizon 5 and Resident Evil Village for being gross. Shouts out. All right, next one. Best music. Now, I'm going to ask to share my screen with you so that I want the music to be played for the people at home.
Okay.
Can we do that? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We could do that.
First of all, I have 3. What do you have?
Best music. I've got 3.
Okay. My 3 are Persona 5 Strikers,
Okay.
Deathloop, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
What are your 3?
My 3 are Sonic Colors Ultimate, Nier Replicant.
Neither of these are new games.
Hang
Nier
on.
Replicant you should have brought that up during Best Remake. It's a remake.
It is not a remake. It is a sequel.
No, I thought it was a remake of Nier Replicant.
It is in a way, but it is not.
Okay, fuck. And Sonic Colors is just Sonic Colors again. That doesn't count.
That totally counts because it's all the music was redone for this game.
I don't think that counts. What was your other one?
Persona 5 Strikers.
Okay, good. I want to fight you on Sonic Colors. I don't care that the music was remade. It's the same music from an old game.
I mean,
it's the same. It's not a new game.
Okay,
Sonic Colors is not a new game.
But question:
I will give you Nier Replicant. Fine.
Okay.
Sonic Colors is not a new video game, and that's impossible.
Then I would sub it for Final Fantasy XIV because
that's fine. I was assuming you were
Masayoshi Soken is one of the greatest music composers right now, and this expand. I wasn't gonna put it in here because it was like, yes, Soken.
It's fine.
Wins,
I expected you to put it in here. So we know one that's going through. I think Guardians of the Galaxy has to be on this list because I think the score of Guardians is good, but they do a really good job of using, Guardians has that trend of wanting to use 70s and 80s music.
Right.
And they do a really good job of using that when it's appropriate, and it's all new songs that weren't in any of the movies. So you get a new soundtrack.
Okay.
Also, though, I really like Deathloop's 70s crimey sounding thing, so I don't know about that. Which one of your games, Nier Replicant or Final Fantasy, do you feel more strongly about?
Oh, Final Fantasy. That music is so fucking good. Again, Soken.
Do you have something to play? Do you have something to play for the people at home?
I can, yeah. Hang on, let me share my screen.
Let me hear
real
something.
Quick. All right, Ryan, check this out. Look, Soken.
I saw your chart or your show notes.
Soken makes the best fucking music. Look,
okay,
Landmarks is great, but listen to this. This is actual music.
No, I need to say what I think about this. This sounds like some fucking All-American Rejects bullshit. I was expecting some high, over-the-top anime cutscene music, which I was going to be like, yeah, I'll agree with you on that. This song sucks.
No.
Dude, this is
the only other
this
thing.
Sounds like some hot bullshit.
This right here.
Get into some hot shit.
Listen to that.
This is moody. I like
very
this.
Ambiatic.
Yeah, okay.
This is at the end.
I was expecting some I'm gonna murder you music.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This game, it does that, but then it subverts it too. There's a wide range of things.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We feel strongly about this. Now turn this shit off because I'm gonna play some good music. Fuck Guardians of the Galaxy. My other one that I want on here for sure is Deathloop. Listen to this fucking shit. This sounds like spy shit. And you get the clock in the background because it's the loop of time.
That's a nice touch. I do like the clock.
Oh, this is so good. And then it takes off in here a second. It gets really kind of underhanded and seedy. Listen to this.
Wait a minute though.
Yeah, right here. Listen to this. I fucking love this. I think this list is Final Fantasy XIV. I think this list is definitely, and then I think this list is Persona 5 Strikers. What do you think about that list?
I don't know. I think that Final Fantasy XIV's music is the best.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a song now that shows why it's the best, because this is why I created this.
Mm-hmm.
I have more opinions than you on music.
Oh,
Welcome
no.
to Persona 5 Strikers, Axe to Grind, the best song of 2021. Listen to this shit. I created this just so I can make sure this song wins an award. Persona 5 Strikers did what Persona 5 did and made jazz cool.
Jazz has always been cool.
No, it's not. I fucking love that song. That song fucking rules.
This is a good song.
Oh, fuck. Oh, also, here's the new, this is the new, what's it called? The battle music. It's called Daredevil. Listen to this shit. This shit rips. You wanna listen to your fucking Motion City soundtrack bullshit over there on Final Fantasy? And I'm listening to this. I'm killing all of these fucking Jack Frosts to this music, motherfucker. This wins. I don't give a shit about anything you have to say or play. I want to let you know this was all a trick. I realized I was going to have to give you at least one Final Fantasy winning, but I was going to make damn sure that this... I didn't honestly think that you were going to put it on your list, but I was going to make damn sure this won Best Music, because this is the only soundtrack from a video game this year that I would buy and listen to on repeat for the rest of my fucking life. I love this music.
Look, I just want to give you a taste of one thing real quick.
I don't want it.
Check this. Listen to that fucking bass.
That's a good bass. I will give you that. That's a very good bass. You know what's got a better bass? The Persona 5 Strikers version of Last Surprise. Ooh, listen to that. Oh! How can you not get pumped the fuck up when you hear this? Chris.
You know what? This music. Some fine music's so good, and then of course,
it's so fucking good.
There is always the classic.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. We're gonna play something. It doesn't matter though, because Ryan has his way as always. The best music of 2021 is Persona 5 Strikers, with runners-up Deathloop and Final Fantasy XIV EndWalker. I'm very happy with that. We've got one more in this kind of like feels category, and that's Best Style. Now, what does Best Style mean? Best Style is kind of a mixture of graphics and also of music and also of UI, and also it's the best game that just has an overall groove and style and fit to it. What game gets you funky, I think, is the way that I would put it. Would you agree with that?
For Best Style?
Yeah, like Best Style. It's the best game that, or I guess the best game that puts you in a world and has the style. It just it's got good style. Like it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have. It can also be a cute thing. It can be a gross thing. It's just the best game that's got an overall look and feel to it that is consistent.
Yeah.
I got 3. What do you got?
I also have 3.
What are they?
I have Loop Hero, Persona 5 Strikers, and Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis.
I have Persona 5 Strikers, I have Deathloop, and I have Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
Okay.
Well, we know one that's going through.
Yep. We got Persona through.
So I like this idea of like when we just have one that goes through, we each get to pick one and then we fight about it. So out of your other two, which one do you think has the best? And tell me why it's got the best style.
Okay, Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis has the best style.
Why is that?
It is this futuristic, like everything is shiny. It's like Star Wars on crack. Like it is the future of like latex and robots, and it fucking rules. I just love the look of every little creature. I love that this world is also like set into one planet. Like the previous PSO2 was you were in space and you were going to different planets, where this one is we're on a world now, and that world feels super Phantasy Star, and it hasn't felt that way since 2001 with Phantasy Star Online 1. In that it's awesome, and I love being in that world. I love just the way everything looks in that world.
Does the music fit with it too? Yeah,
the music fits with it. It's all a simple package, like because it's very like that, like neo future kind of. I hate using techno as like an all encompassing word, but like that like electronic, more trancey kind of like like psytrance stuff at times. Like I don't know, it's just super fast moving, and then when you have those moments of like in between battles, it lightens up with a nice piano and stuff. I really like that world. I always want to be in the Phantasy Star world, especially this one, just because it takes such a macro thing that we've had for so long and puts you in a micro area, you know?
Okay. I'm going to say that I think the best style out of the other two that I have of Deathloop and Chicory, I think that the best style has got to go to Deathloop. I think Deathloop captures that style of the 70s spy fiction and kind of groovy 60s and 70s. More 60s probably than 70s is what I meant to say. Like that groovy spy, but also like everything's very off and weird and kind of British. It reminds me a lot of that show, The Prisoner, if you know what that is.
I don't.
Prisoner was a show from the 60s from England, and the premise of it was this spy who tried to retire basically got kidnapped and thrown on this island that was a prison for other spies, and he doesn't know why he's there, and everything's fucking weird. You should look it up. It's fucking kooky.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I think between the menus and the music and everything about that game, I think Deathloop has to go on this list. And I'd say that saying all that, the winner is, of course, Persona 5 Strikers, because how do you get more fucking stylish than Persona 5? You do it again!
Yeah. It's so good. I love the fucking anime world, though. Like, everything that they did for this one with like the heavy black outlines and stuff, like
it's so beautiful how everything looks, how
it's explosive, it's fun,
and what's also great. So what's great about Persona 5 Strikers is this idea of they're basically on a road trip going through all of Japan. And so every place, it's like you get a little slice of like, here's what Sendai is like. Here's like, and you get to walk around and do these things that I'm assuming you, as someone who lived in Japan, are like, oh yeah, awesome. And so they capture this cool feeling of a road trip around Japan, and also that Persona 5 coolness. Without a doubt, the best style of 2021 is Persona 5 Strikers.
You know how much I would love to have just a road trip around Japan where I like play different fucking video games would be like amazing.
Okay, but also you have to go into jails and fight in a Muso game. That's the only downside of Persona 5 Strikers, is that it's a Muso game.
No, Muso games are amazing.
I'm not a Muso. Listen, I loved this game for the Persona 5 parts of it. I wasn't the biggest Muso fan. It's still a great game, though. I ended up liking it because while it's a Muso game, it's got a lot of like, okay, we know you're not into Muso games, so here's things to subvert that, and it does it well that it kept me in. That's best style though, 100% Persona 5
totally. Yeah,
we're doing good. This is I'm having a good time. Yeah. Next game. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
let's name the coziest game of 2021. There's been a trend in the last couple of years of cozy games where you get to just like, you get in your pajamas and you play them and you feel good and everything's like it started kind of with Stardew, and ever since then it's been taking off really well. I want to know I'm going to start with mine. I want to name the top 3 best cozy games of 2021 were Chicory, A Colorful Tale, A Short Hike, and The Procession to Cavalry, which I know you haven't heard of, but I'll explain it in a second.
Okay. Mine are drastically different.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
My cozy games are Orcs Must Die 3.
What the fuck? No, that's not what... Okay. Not what this category is about. No.
See, it's cozy for me because it is a game that I can just turn my brain off.
That game didn't come out this year.
Yeah, it did.
Oh. It's not... That's not... Turn your brain off is not what I meant by... Okay. Fine. Continue.
Forza Horizon 5.
No, okay, no.
That's a comfy game. It's so
did
cozy.
not understand how this category works. What's your next one?
This one might count. Bowser's Fury.
No!
Why not? It's so comfy. It's so cozy.
Giant turtle that comes out of the sky and rains fire. That's not cozy. That's stressful. I thought you were going to say, like, I never got to play Unpacking, but I feel like that would go on this list. Like, it's games like that.
I don't think I played a lot of those, like, in like smaller indie cozy games this year.
Okay. Well, then this category is all mine. Hey, The Procession of Cavalry, I don't know if anyone care about it but me. It is a point-and-click adventure game that entirely looks like the animation that was in Monty Python.
What the fuck?
It's all using, like, public domain works of art from, like, the Renaissance era.
Mm-hmm.
And you play a knight, and you can, at any time, you can pull out a sword and decapitate anyone in the game. But it's hilarious. It's like playing it's so funny. It's like playing a Monty Python video game that's not about like the animation that Terry Gilliam used to do. What?
I might actually have a cozy game to add in.
Okay, what do you got?
Let me check to make sure it came out this year.
What do you got? You know what? And that's what I also want to check, because I feel like A Short Hike might have accidentally not come out this year. It's like saying my cozy game of the year is Doom. It's like, what the fuck? A Short Hike came out in 2019. It does not count.
Okay.
Man, it came out on PlayStation this year. Hey, have you played A Short Hike? You might like that.
I haven't, but I've heard to check it out.
It's a very fun game.
Okay, here's my cozy game. Team Fight Simulator.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's just like it's a pixel graphic simulator game that where you
I for sure thought you were going to say like new Pokemon Snap.
No, like it is cozy, but it's just I don't know. I don't know if I would give it the coziest game of the year because of just how little that game has.
Sports team? All right. Yeah, but I mean, it's like that you get in there and I figured you'd say it because it's like, hey, you're going through a safari and like, oh, there's little pictures and you take them. And that to me is like a cozy game.
It is. It's just that there's so much grinding to it that it's kind of stressful because you just have to like
you just turn your mind off. Okay, that's fine.
So many things to progress.
I'm gonna take out A Short Hike and we're gonna put in, what'd you call it? Team Fight Simulator?
Yeah, Team Fight Simulator.
So the nominees are Chicory, Team Fight Simulator, and The Procession of Cavalry. And I'm gonna speak for Chris and say the winner is Chicory. Dude, you gotta play Chicory.
Yeah, because the more I've seen that game for a long time, and it's always been on my radar, and it's just one that's always slipped through the cracks. So, I'm definitely gonna check it out now. It's our game. It's our coziest game of the year.
All right, the next game, best moment or sequence.
Okay.
This is for either the best like moment in a game or the best like level, basically the best like oh shit, you got to see this of the year.
I'm so ready for this because you were going to say that I cannot put these in here.
I'm probably going to say that. Here are mine. Ready?
Okay.
Hitman 3, Dartmouth Manor, which is the Knives Out level in Hitman 3.
Okay.
Hitman 3, the Berlin Switch. There's a level. Have you played Hitman 3?
I haven't. I have played the other two, but I haven't played that one.
There's a level in Hitman 3 in this newer one where you go to a nightclub and it's like instead of a target, you find out there are 10 ICA agents who are trying to kill you, and you need to kill them before they kill you. Huh. So you're being hunted, and I have to hunt at the same time.
Okay.
Fucking rules.
Sounds cool.
The next one, I actually have 5. Number 3, Hitman 3. The I forget. Oh fuck! I can't read my own writing here. The level that takes place at the vineyard. You know what? I'm gonna take that one off because these other ones are cooler. Next one, Resident Evil Village, House Beneviento.
Okay,
that has to be on this list. House Beneviento.
Yep.
Is fucking amazing. And then my lastly, for Resident Evil Village, the reveal of Ethan when you find out he's been a dead mold man the whole time.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay, well, I do have the reveal of Ethan.
Okay,
well.
so okay. You don't have House Beneviento though?
I almost put it on here. It was for that. It was like, did I find this scene better than the other? Because I have three. Well, there's one I don't. Okay, I might actually fit that one in as well.
Well, let's hear your other ones that I'm gonna veto.
Here's one that I think we can just easily veto. Veto because it's not even really in the game.
Give it a Don Veto really quick.
This is the Don Veto award. I gave it to Sora, the trailer for Sora joining Smash.
No, get the fuck out. That's not a no.
I was so happy. It was such a good moment.
I'm so glad that you're tell you what, we'll make a new category called Best Trailer, and you can put it in that.
There we go. Okay. I have dropping into the world of Horizon 5. Forza Horizon.
Get the fuck out of here.
It was one of those things that, like, it was paired with the music and kind of just how that game starts. I was like, holy shit, this is so fucking hyped that I made my life for it. Like,
what's the other one?
And then I have two moments. This one is two from EndWalker, obviously. There's one part, and this is kind of early, but still, huge spoilers. There's a big bad guy called Xenos, right? And what he does is, you've killed him before, but he comes back because he has like this special thing that when you kill him, if his soul is near another body, he can move into that body, right?
Okay.
They start a chaotic scene where all these monsters are coming to fuck up your like base camp in this frozen part of Garlemald, and all your friends are freaking out. Everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on? This is what happened. And then he shows up and he's like, hey, you're coming with me. And he takes you away from that moment. And then you wake up in someone else's body at a dinner table with him. And it's just like this crazy dude is serving you dinner. And he's like, oh, but Xenos wanted to have dinner with you. And by the way, enjoy your new body. And then at the end of that dinner, he takes your body, disappears. And then the crazy dude's like, I wonder what it's going to be like when he meets up with your friends here soon. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And you then have to fight your way back to the base camp, which is on the other side of the map, while all these monsters are trying to get you. And you are in the body of just like a shit fucking person with no fucking abilities, no fucking health. And eventually you get all super fucked up to where you have to crawl back to your base to try to save your friends with a timer ticking down on your life until you die. And that moment is so good like, what a better thing to do, because no other game has the balls to do something like that, where you create your character. You get to play as that character that is very personal to you. You get to make their decisions and decide how they dress and do everything for 10 years for them to take that character from you and then are just like, they're going to go kill your friends in your body. It's so fucked up. It's so cool. I loved it. And then the other one is the EndWalker moment, where at the end of the game, they make you walk to the end of the game. And when you're doing it, you're passing all of these ghosts from your journey that are characters you've met before. And they just give you like a line of like, like, you can do it. Come on. Like, and stuff like that. And it's all of these characters as you walk to the end. And I thought it was so beautiful and such a powerful moment that like that moment will stick in my mind forever. Like I loved it.
I'm now happy to say you can only pick one, because by the rules that we've established, we have one that matches, which means I'm putting Hitman the Berlin Switch on this, and now you have to pick out of all of those things you just said.
That's so tough, because the body swap is so fucking good. But I think that the way that it ends is not as powerful. But the EndWalker moment, like, that is so good. I'd have to give it to that.
So our nominees are Resident Evil, the Ethan reveal, Hitman 3, the Berlin Switch, and Final Fantasy XIV, the EndWalker Walk. And the winner is the Ethan reveal. So
yeah, it has to be.
It has to be. The fact that it came out in 17, right? For 4 years, everyone's like, how the fuck can Ethan take so much damage in this hand? To the fact that it became a meme. To the fact that in this game, they even go over Ethan gets his hand cut off, stabbed through, burned, eaten by bugs, dissolved by acid. And there's a point where fucking Lady D cuts your hand off and you pick it up as an item. And you're just like, what the fuck else? Why is this so fucking stupid that he can put it back on? And then at the end, we're like, hey, guess what? You've been dead since the prologue of Resident Evil 7, and you've been a mold man this whole time. And the only reason that you're here is literally because you love your family so much that you thrust your body out of the Mega Mutamycete. Fucking amazing.
Yeah. I really loved it. I thought it was a good payoff for that character, too, because Ethan is the best protagonist outside of Chris Redfield.
I'm trying to think if that's true.
Chris Redfield's the best.
He's pretty good. I like Ethan more than Chris. Yeah, I go Ethan, Chris, and then
but he's
probably Claire. Probably Claire. Leon annoys me.
Yeah, I don't like
4
Leon.
6. Leon in 2 is okay, but I don't know.
I would agree. I like Leon too. I don't like him in any of the other ones.
Congratulations, Ethan Winters, best dad. Sub award, best video game dad of the year, Ethan Winters.
Hell yeah.
Are there any good video game dads that came out this year?
There are very video game dads that I would like to call daddy. Does that count?
I want to move on from this conversation. The next award is congratulations to Resident Evil Village for best moment or sequence, the reveal of Ethan's whole fucking life, with the runners up. What the fuck? Oh yeah, the Berlin Switch and EndWalker. Okay, the next one, I assume this will go pretty fucking quick. Best narrative.
Ryan, I have more opinions than you. It's Final Fantasy XIV.
I knew. That's why I create. Part of me really wanted to hold on to it and use it before you could say it, just to fuck with you. Okay, what are your nominees?
Yeah, my nominees though.
I'm gonna let you talk about it for a second, but quickly, what are your nominees?
It's Psychonauts 2, Nier Replicant, and Final Fantasy EndWalker.
Mine are Guardians of the Galaxy, Resident Evil Village, Persona 5 Strikers. With a quick nod to Inscription, I played that and the whole meta narrative. Did you ever play Inscription?
No, that I almost messaged you today because I was trying to remember what the game was called so I could download it and play it today.
Inscription is a weird game. There's some people that are like, it's the best game of the year, and I played it. It's like, oh, it's fun, but I don't think it's the best game of the year. And I've played other games that guy makes games that are all like, it starts as one thing and then it's like a Texas switch, and you're like, oh, it's about something else. And this is one of those, and I think it does it well. I don't think it's like the greatest game of the year. Yeah. Like Polygon gave it number one game of the year, and I'm like, you guys are fucking high. But it was fun. But okay, so I'm going to say RE Village, Guardians, and Strikers. Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
You're definitely giving this to EndWalker. I know that.
I have to.
So I'm gonna pick the other two, and I'm going to say it's Village and Guardians.
That's fair, because I think that those while I didn't include Village, it was really close.
I feel like the narrative Village is very good of telling the story of Ethan suffering just out of pure love.
Yeah.
And it plays a really good story. That moment or sequence, like we just gave it to at the end, I think that as that character, everyone made fun of Ethan for being the dopey whatever, and at the beginning of that game, he's kind of like, I've learned a little bit. By the end of that game, he's a fucking stone cold. He's like, you mess with my daughter, I'll fucking blow up the earth. So, yeah. And then I really can't talk more high. Like, I'm just happy. Like, my winner would be Guardians of the Galaxy. I really do think that game should be played. Like, the gameplay itself is kind of whatever, but that is a story on par with the MC. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy video game is a better Guardians of the Galaxy story than both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Mm-hmm.
As a Marvel fan, I cannot suggest it to you enough, Chris. You really should play it. And I think that the writing is amazing. The characters are so well written. But I knew that if I did not create this whole overpower thing, it was going to be 8 hours of you going, but I'm on the moon, and there's a crystal. I don't know why I've turned. It's so funny.
You gave me the power to just have it.
No. Yeah, because I didn't want to have this fight. I used to like Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. I really did. I did a thing with Rocco and Kevin and Johnny and Rachel. We were like ranking shit, and we were ranking the Final Fantasies, and I made sure that Final Fantasy XIV was on the S tier when we were doing it because I had a lot of really strong feelings about that game. Yeah. And then I started doing a podcast with you where you won't shut the fuck up about that game, and it's actively made. I turned off my subscription. I'm staying like your love of Final Fantasy XIV is sickening.
I know.
I'm so glad you love it. I'm so glad you love that game.
Good. It is such a fantastic game. It is one of the greatest stories. It is my second favorite game of all time now.
What's your? Oh, it's still Final Fantasy 9. But go ahead and tell. You can't just say it wins. You have to give examples why. So yeah, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You can't just say, "Wow, it's a great story." I want you to tell me what this story. Like, win me over here. What is the fucking story of EndWalker? Because you refuse to tell me because I can spoil it. Welcome to spoiler territory. I don't care. You have to explain it.
Okay. Go. So the story of EndWalker is the culmination of a 10-year-long story that started in 1.0. Yes, the shitty Final Fantasy XIV. It ties up everything you need and sets in motion everything that will succeed it. But the story is that you are trying to avert the final days. The final days are a story that has been long told in legend of basically it was the end of the world for this ancient civilization. No one really knows what caused it. Of course, you will learn throughout the progress of the game how to do that. But I don't know how to sum this game up in 2 minutes. It's you bringing the world together. That's really what the whole game is you and your friends go out and you set out into the world to say, hey guys, the world's about to end. We need to bring the world together to prevent that. And you do. And it's beautiful and how it does it. I can definitely see where some people are going to have complaints that it's like the power of love and friendship wins at the end of the day. And it's like, well, yeah, and that's fucking awesome because every character is beautifully written. They have long, complex stories that go over hundreds of hours. And every even little side character is that way. Even the new characters they introduce in this expansion are phenomenal stories. They're fun things to be around. But this is the end. Like you are taking the two elder primals, Zodiac and Heidelin, and you are setting them to rest and figuring out the mystery of what caused the final days in the past and how to prevent it.
What caused it?
What caused it? Medion, she gets all depressed and she flies out into space and starts eating, kind of eating all these other planets, and then
so it's Galactus. So it's just Galactus.
No, it's so there's ether. Like magic is always explained through like, oh yeah, there's this ether that runs through the planet, kind of like the Force and Star Wars. Well, there are other things too, like how you can use a limit break. It's like, well, why do you have that ability? Because not a lot of other characters do. Like, why is it that you get a sudden burst of just strength and all these like very, tight moments of like death and, just whatever chaos is happening? And it's because there's another thing called dynamis, and that's basically like magic used through the power of emotion, basically. And it's that. And that is something that the world, it's kind of like, they don't really know it. A lot of people who study Aether, they're like, yeah, there could be like this other thing that exists, but like...
You think love is tearing the world apart?
Yeah, kind of. It uses a lot of, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think there's a lot of like Hindu kind of theology and kind of like their like... beliefs and stuff in this about how like emotion can dictate things, and I think it does it really well. Like for something that's kind of being put in at the last part of the story, I think they do it very well.
Okay, so you go to the moon, you blow up some crystals, and then the world doesn't end?
The world starts to end and you prevent it.
So nobody feels love anymore?
No, everyone still does, but...
You blow up love?
You don't blow up love, you blow up despair.
Oh.
Yeah, because this, at the end of the game, I guess if I have to surmise it, the whole game is a conversation about death and depression and what happens when you move on. It is a conversation about like what is worth living for, what makes you special in living, and I think it does it very well. And it's so good. And it's just a huge payoff for 10 years of story that it ended this spectacularly. Like,
this is the last time we ever have to hear about this game. You'll never be able to put EndWalker up for an award again.
That's true.
I knew that you were going to be all joking aside, I knew you were going to be very passionate about this. So I knew you were going to get it.
But the thing is,
if you were going to have to give this an award, I was going to get some sugar out of the taste. So that's why.
Everyone that I've talked to that has played Guardians and this game, EndWalker is still always above them. But I hear there's a lot of similarities there.
I think it's great. You should play Guardians, but give it up to Final Fantasy XIV EndWalker.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yoshi P.
Go play that
Start
game.
working on Final Fantasy 16, you fuck.
Hey, did you actually see that he did address that the other day?
Yeah.
I'm excited. It sounds like it might be an end of the year game next year.
And maybe
I don't think it will.
No. I think it's gonna be like 2023. So yeah, well,
for one reason.
Congratulations, and then runners up Guardians of the Galaxy, the best actual, and Resident Evil Village. Okay, next we've got best indie game. Indie game is classified as any game that didn't come out from a major studio. A lot of cool indie games came out this year, and a couple I'd like to talk about. I've actually got a whole bunch. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 that I want to talk about really quick. I played a lot of good indie games this year, and so I know I'm gonna have to whittle that down. But this is like this is less. I know that they're all gonna make it through, and more. I want to talk about these to maybe get it out to some ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 3.
Why don't you say yours first?
Okay. I have Orcs Must Die 3, Loop Hero, and this is the one where you're like, this isn't an indie game, but it is. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl.
It's not an indie game.
It is. It's made by an indie team.
I don't. Okay.
And it's not even published by like a major company.
I want to talk about the following games.
Okay.
Retromania Wrestling.
Okay.
Chicory, a colorful tale.
Mm-hmm.
Inscription. Crab Game. The Procession to Calvary. I Expect You to Die 2. And Deer Simulator.
Deer Simulator.
We don't have any matching games, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a quick talk about your 3 really quick?
Okay. Loop Hero is just a very genius.
I've heard a lot about Loop Hero. I have no idea what the game actually fucking is. What is Loop Hero?
It's kind of like a city building, like RPG / card game. I don't know. It's weird. Like you build like a set of cards, or like a deck of cards that can appear in the world while you're playing, and then you have a hero that there's just a circular. Well, it's not circular, but it's like a path that meets into itself. And the hero will walk from his base around the map and then come back to the base. And while doing that, your hero will encounter like monsters or townsfolk or something. And each time you defeat them, you grow stronger, but you also will get cards that you can play into the world to build the world around the loop. And what cards you play dictate like what monsters show up or like what loot you can get, villages you can pass through. And it's kind of just this game where the more you pass through, the more like items you collect. And then when you complete the loop or want to finish, you then exit and you're trying to rebuild this world that was lost to darkness outside of it. So there's a lot of like city building elements to it, but at the end it's like this weird deck building game that I really ended up loving. And it was made by like a team of like 5 people or something like that.
Let me tell you about a deck game to go against your deck game, and it's called Inscription. I'm just going to talk about Inscription now and how it's a very good deck card game. Inscription is like 3 games in one, and it starts as a roguelite deck building game where the game is, it's not like another card game, but basically the card game basis is that there's no mana, there's no energy.
Okay.
The energy is lives. You have to murder your own cards to play other cards.
Okay.
All the cards are animals, and you sacrifice their blood to put other things on the table. The game is a 4-lane power and toughness type game where the way to win is there's a set of scales, and you have to do more damage than they do to you, where you have to reach a threshold. I think it's about 6 points of damage, but anytime they do damage, it goes on their side of the scale, so it balances the scales. So that way, if I do 1 damage to you and you 1 damage to me, no one's really doing anything. It's the first person to get an advantage, which is pretty smart.
Okay.
As you play,
kind of similar to like the time system in Digimon a little bit.
Now, at the same time, it's also an escape room puzzle game.
What the? Okay, right on.
It's also a game within a game because I gotta tell you about this. The game is all about a man who runs a YouTube channel where he opens up card packs, who finds an old card pack for a game called Inscription at a yard sale and opens it up, and one of the cards has coordinates on it, and he goes and he digs up a fucking floppy disk with a digitized copy of Inscription, the game that never came out in that universe. And the game is you playing the game, but the game is sentient.
Okay.
Because the end of it, you find out the game has become sentient because there's code on it from Adolf Hitler.
Okay.
And the game is trying to stop the Adolf Hitler code from getting out. And so you're playing the game to stop the game from putting the game on the internet.
What the? Okay.
You just need to play this game.
I bought
it's fucking weird. The downside
bought
of
it right
is
now.
The downside of this is that somebody who plays a lot of card games like you and me, it's fun, but it gets very simplistic to the fact that after a while it's like, oh, I've solved this game, and there is no challenge. Now the game does fuck with you a little bit, like it just starts breaking rules to fuck with you, like a roguelike would do. And that game that I told you, that card game, is only the first of 3 separate card games that you play.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that. It's got some
It's
variety.
not exactly hard. Like, it's meant for people that aren't, like, hardcore game players.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a part of the game where it's like, I built a deck out of starter cards that could beat the final boss just because I understand the logic of the game and how to break it. But I still think it's a very weird game, and it's very good. And I think it's a very good indie game. The downside to that is, like I said, Daniel Mullen, the guy who made this, also made a game called Pony Island.
Okay.
Have you played Pony Island?
I have not played Pony Island.
Pony Island sounds like, it sounds pretty fun, right? You're playing this little game. It's you playing a game that's like about ponies until you find out the game is actually a distraction because you, the character, are in hell. And in hell, they're making you play shitty games over and over again as torture until the game gets infected with a demon virus, and then it's you breaking the game to break out of hell.
Okay.
He also made a game called The Hex, which I didn't play that one, but Daniel Mullen keeps making games that start as one thing and then it turns out are the absolute fucking not that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up from it.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's an interesting game developer, though. I want to check out.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next game you want to talk about?
We're talking Destiny. Orcs Must Die 3 is a really good just tower defense game.
And then listen, I want to play Nickelodeon All-Stars with you. I have the game. We should play it. I want to play it.
Let's play.
Frank's buying a copy. Like, I'm getting people to play this game. It's not a fucking indie game, even though it's made by an indie. Shut up. It's not an indie game, even though it's made by an indie team, because it has the license of a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
It It does have a good big.
Doesn't fucking count. Doesn't fucking count. It's got CBS Viacom behind it. It's not a fucking indie game.
I don't know because they built it. They made that game with a lot of.
Who published it?
Like they didn't have a lot of money. It was.
Answer my question. Who published it?
I'm looking it up. But it was
CBS Viacom.
Publishers Game Mill Entertainment and Maximum Games.
I still don't think it counts.
Developers are Ludosity and Fair Play
Nothing
Labs.
with Garfield in it and SpongeBob is an indie game.
I don't know, man.
All right, I want to tell you about another game. It's a better game. It's called Crab Game.
Crab Game. See this. I saw you guys. Were you playing it on stream that one day?
Yeah, it's super fucking fun. Somebody basically just made a shitty version of Squid Game and also matched it with a bunch of games that you would play in Fall Guys.
See, I saw there was a Fortnite version of this, but I haven't checked out either.
Wait, did Fortnite rip this off?
I think they are right now, actually.
Of course. Fucking course Fortnite would do that. Something got popular, put it in Fortnite. Take all their money. No, Crab Game is like... It looks like it was made in Roblox, but it's like you'll be playing a game that's basically just something you play out of like Fall Guys, and then you'll be in the fucking part in Squid Game where you're in the dormitory and they shut all the lights and they give you weapons and you have to kill everyone.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And then like they have the red light, green light with the big lady, and then they have like some fun like King of the Hill things. So it's basically a battle royale. It's free. Mm-hmm. And it's super fun.
I want to check it out. Hopefully somebody will stream it with a bunch of people and I can play it next time.
Yeah, we already did that. You could do that. You have a stream, fucking do it.
Ain't nobody coming there.
I also want to talk about Retromania Wrestling. Is a 16-bit retro like action arcade wrestling game. But it came out of nowhere, and it's got actual wrestlers in it. It's got Colt Cabana in it.
Okay, now hang on a second.
It's got Zack Sabre Jr. in it. It's got indie wrestlers in it. Independent wrestlers. This was before Colt Cabana got signed by AEW. It's got Matt Cardona in it. It's got Roadrunner Alan Hawk in it. Like it's got the Blue Meanie, Stevie Richards, and Nova, the entire Blue World Order, BWO, for life. And it's got Nick Aldis in it. It's just a really good 16-bit wrestling game, and they were able to get some high-profile indie wrestlers in it to give it a little bit of cred, and it plays well.
That's tight. I like that idea. But if we can't have Nickelodeon, we can't have this.
Why not? These are indie wrestlers.
Yeah, but these aren't like actual people that give it more credit.
No.
Because like, what's Nickelodeon's property now? Like, they're not that good.
Nickelodeon is owned by Viacom. It has $1 billion. Fucking, you know who doesn't have $1 billion? Zack Sabre Jr. You know, or the Blue Meanie. Like Nick Aldis is not raking it down. Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers does not have $1 billion, even though he's got all that money from his major podcast where they talk about wrestling figures. It's definitely an indie game because it's indie wrestlers. I've already talked at length about Chicory and Inscription. Procession Cavalry. I talked about really quickly. I'll talk about two more things. I Expect You to Die 2 was a really good indie game that I played this year, but I'm willing to take it off this list for the sole reason is that they have Will Wheaton do a voice in it. Fuck that guy. But I just wanted to shout out I Expect You to Die 2. If you have VR, it's really fun. I Expect You to Die 2 is a sequel to I Expect You to Die, and the idea is that they're all puzzle rooms that are based on being like James Bond in the Death Trap. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get you.
So it's like, how do you get out of this? You're the spy. But I'm going to take that. And then Deer Simulator is just some weird bullshit that I played this year that looks like it was inspired by Katamari. You're like this deer that can put guns on its antlers and grow its head, and you fight koalas. It's a fun game. I'm only taking off this list. Procession to Cavalry, like I said, I just wanted to shout it out. If you like point-and-click adventures and you think Monty Python is funny, I think you need to play that. I'm going to cut that. I feel very strongly about Retromania, Chicory, Inscription, and Crab Game. Out of those four, once again, I think I'm going to take Crab Game off. I shouted it out. It's a very cool indie game. I don't think that it hangs on this list. But I think Retro, Chicory, and Inscription I would fight for. I will never let you put Nickelodeon on this list. There's a category right after this that I will absolutely let you put Nickelodeon All-Star on this list. I am not letting you put it on this list.
Okay.
What were the other two? Orcs Must Die and what?
Orcs Must Die 3 and best indie. Where did I just scrolled away? Oh, Loop Hero.
I'm gonna let you put Loop Hero on this list.
Yeah, I would probably give it to Loop Hero. It's got a better gameplay loop.
I'm gonna put Chicory on this list. I think Chicory, I have not really talked about. I've kind of talked about it, but here's the story of Chicory. Chicory is a world. Here's the first thing that happens. They ask you, what's your favorite food? That's the first thing that happens in this game.
Oh, how very earthbound.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Pizza.
That's your character's name. All the characters in this game are named after food. My character's name is Ramen. You are the janitor to the wielder of the brush, who is the only person in this world that can put color down.
Okay.
And one day you wake up and all the color is gone. And Chicory, the current wielder, is nowhere to be found. So you pick up the brush, and all of a sudden you're the wielder, and you can bring color into the world. The world is entirely black and white, except for color that you put into it, and you can color anything. Your left stick is your character, your right stick is the brush, and the entire game, with the exception of some boss fights, it's all environmental puzzles of using color and the brush to navigate environmental puzzles, of traversing areas, to go on this quest about becoming the new wielder and finding out what happened to Chicory. And like I said, it's an allegory for Chicory was going through depression, and you have to bring, her sadness infected the world with black and white, and you need to bring color back. A lot of people are really high on this game, and I see why. I'm close to being done with the platinum. I'll probably platinum it next year. I probably won't have time, but I think it's a really good game, and I think it has to be on this list.
Well, yeah, Ryan, you have to platinum it next year. It's the 31st right now.
Yeah, and I can't play video games right now because I'm partying it up. New Year's. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to put this out here. Here's what I think our top three are. Are you ready?
Okay.
I think it's Loop Hero. I think it's Chicory. And I think it's Retromania Wrestling.
Basically, I think you should check out Loop Hero just because I think you would really enjoy it. Granted, I don't think it's on PlayStation yet.
It's not. It's one of those games that's like the minute it's played. Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Inscription wasn't on PlayStation, and I heard enough about it that I bought it and I played it on Steam.
I would check out Loop Hero. It's a fantastic game.
I probably will. Like I said, next year when I'm not so worried about trophies, because I'm really not going to be playing any of these shitty games, I'm going to hit that backlog a bit, and maybe Loop Hero. If it ever comes to PlayStation, I'll definitely play it.
Totally.
But
I think Chicory might actually get this.
I kind of have to say that the best indie game is Chicory.
Yeah. I'm
right there with you. So congratulations. The best indie game of 2021 is Chicory, A Colorful Tale, with Loop Hero and Retromania Wrestling as our runners-up. All right, here's where you can talk about your bullshit. Welcome to Best Multiplayer.
Okay.
Here are my three games. It Takes Two, Mario Golf Super Rush, and Crab Game. What do you got?
Oh, Super Rush would have been... See, I didn't buy that, so I haven't played it yet, but I bet I would put that on there.
It's super fun. I
really need to play it.
There's a mode where the idea is that it's not like everyone takes turns. It's everyone golfs at the same time, and the first person in the hole.
Yeah, it's like a time
with the least amount of strokes. It's like time plus strokes.
Yeah, I really want that sounds really fun and like
it's super fun. I played the single player mode a little bit, and it's fine, but the multiplayer is why you play that game. Yeah. Anyway, those are my three. What are your three?
Well, I've got four, and my four are Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Knockout City, Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier.
Fuck off.
And Pokemon Unite.
We don't have any that match. Really, that fucking battle royale for phones
it's
only?
Really good.
Fuck off.
Now, granted, my biggest problem with that game is that it is a mobile game. I really wish it were on PC because I think it's strong enough that it could actually have some competition weight just because it is Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, it's a really competent, battle royale game.
Just out of curiosity, what's your number one here?
Nickelodeon.
Okay, I'm willing to put that on this list because I bought that game to play it with you. You talked it up so much.
The game's great. I was playing it last night. Garfield fucking rules. I'm a Garfield man.
Garfield's out. Was that whole thing about you can't play Garfield on Mondays real?
I don't know because I played after midnight.
Okay. I think It Takes Two has to be on this list. That's the most fun I had with a multiplayer game this year because it's a co-op only game. Okay. And me and my friend Mike played that, and it was fun to like work it. And then there were parts where we were like fucking yelling at, like, you fucking just move the fucking cubes, like you fucking bitch, I'll move the fucking cube. And, like it really gets you yelling at each other. Like I said, the narrative is hot dog shit. We should have a worst narrative category. By the way, the winner of worst narrative is It Takes Two. But like, I think it has to go on this list for how fun it was to play with another person.
Okay. So
it's Nick, it's It Takes Two, and then I think out of what I have, I would go to bat for Mario Golf. What would you debate me in against Mario Golf?
Well, I think Knockout City is a really solid game. I fucking love the beta. Like I played that shit so much, but then when the game actually came out, no one played it anymore.
Died.
So
yeah.
But Pokemon Unite's really fucking solid, and I still.
Is that the fucking MOBA?
Yeah, it's the MOBA. And the thing is I want to play it more, but like the friends that I were playing it with, they're all like super busy, so like I don't really have many people to play it with. But I love that game. I think it's a great like game that's mobile, and all your stuff goes to Switch too, so you can go back and forth.
How hard are you going to fight me that Nickelodeon is better than It Takes Two for multiplayer?
Because Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is something that will constantly change because the metagame will always change. It'll change between your friends. It'll change between what's actually competitive. It'll change from what is updated and what's not. It Takes Two is great, and I love the fact that that is on this list as a multiplayer game. Having said that, how often can you play that?
Twice, once for PS4 and once for PS5.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
Okay, then here's what I'm gonna
like. You can play forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the winner of this category is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and the runners-up are It Takes Two and Super Mario and Mario Golf Super Rush.
Let me pose this question to you.
Yeah, okay.
I do not think that It Takes Two is a multiplayer game. I think it is a cooperative game, but it is not a multiplayer.
That's more than one person.
I think
multiplayer means more than one, and two is more than one. Yeah. Are we gonna have a debate if two is more than one?
No, but it's like I don't see it as a multiplayer.
Multiplayer is playing with another person. No, absolutely. Multiplayer means playing with another person. A cooperative game with two people. The other thing that was going to be on this list was that free PS5 game Operation Tango, which was just another co-op game where one person plays an agent, one person plays a hacker, and you can't see what the other person is doing. And I had a lot of fun playing that once again with my friend Mike. Huh. I think co-op games absolutely are valid in this space. And the only reason I didn't do
by other things.
The only reason I didn't do best cooperative and best competitive is that I wouldn't have a third for best cooperative multiplayer of the year. Gotcha. Because it would have been, if you want to split them up and do best cooperative versus best competitive, I'm for that. But then we need a third best cooperative because I only played 2 cooperative multiplayer games this year.
Yeah, I don't really think that there are too many other like cooperative. No,
unless I can give it to Overcooked. All You Can Eat edition, but I think that came out last year. It's just that I played it this year.
We'll just keep it best multiplayer, but I want to know why you think that It Takes Two would be better than something that is constantly evolving.
Because I didn't play that, and I played It Takes Two.
It's fair. See, with Nicktoons, it's like I have that drive in me. That
the reason that I'm okay to give it to Nicktoons is because I bought the game to play with you, so I mean it has to be something. Mm-hmm. But the thing I also like about It Takes Two that they did with number one, It Takes Two far better than A Way Out, which was fucking atrocious. Okay. But they do the thing with It Takes Two that I love for these that I want more people to do if we're going to get into this co-op space, which is when you buy It Takes Two, if you want to play, like let's say we wanted to play It Takes Two.
Okay.
Chris, say, hey Ryan, I want to play It Takes Two.
I want to play It Takes Two, but how
so
can I
do
play
I.
It?
I bought the game. Guess what? You don't have to buy a copy.
That's genius. I do love that.
I buy the copy, and we both play together.
That's such a good marketing scheme too.
Yeah.
But then again, it was also like
because then you're gonna go, wow, that was a good time. I want to play it with my wife, and you're gonna have to buy a copy. And then your wife goes, that was a good time. I want to play it with my friend Gerb, and then they buy a copy. And then it like chains off. Yeah. So I think It Takes Two was the best time I had playing with a friend this year. That was the game that came out this year. Mm-hmm. So I think that I would give it to that, but I understand why Nick would probably get it because they made a Smash Brothers with SpongeBob in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give it. So we're going to say the best multiplayer game of the year is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl with runners-up It Takes Two and Mario Golf Super Rush.
Hell yeah.
We're running out of categories here.
I want to check out that Mario game so bad, though.
It's fun. Hey, if you bought it, I would play it with you. Okay, the next category is biggest disappointments. This is not worst game. I want to make that very clear. This is not the game that we hated the most. This is the category for this is basically the game that we heard the most about, and then it didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah. What are your 3 or more?
My 4 are Outriders, New Pokemon Snap, Stubbs the Zombie Rebel Without a Pulse Remaster, and this is going to be funny because I love this game, Far Cry 6.
Okay.
What are yours?
Well, I have New Pokemon Snap here as well.
Okay.
I have Metroid Dread.
I knew you were going to put that on there.
Online 2, New Genesis.
Didn't you fucking love that game to death?
I like the style, and I like its world, but it is a huge letdown of a game.
And then what's the other one?
I have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Back for Blood.
Ooh, Back for Blood. Yeah, Back for Blood. Okay. So New Pokemon Snap on this list for sure. Yeah. I want to say that I know we talked about it before, but I've played some more Dread.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dread.
Yeah. It's not to say that I don't like it, but boy,
I think that your disappointment infected me to talk shit on it, and I think that I would take back some of the things I said about it. I think the only thing in that game, the only part of Dread that I still am just like, I'm not the biggest fan of is the whole having movement and aiming on the same stick.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I don't think it's the most disappointing game of 2021.
Okay. That's fair.
I want to quickly talk about why one of my favorite games. Well, it's. I don't know if it's going on my top 10 or if it's. Not, it might be number 10 or it might be number 11. But I want to talk about why Far Cry 6 was massively disappointing.
Okay.
That game was fucking marketed as you versus Giancarlo Esposito. He is in that game for like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's also. I love Far Cry. I fucking love Far Cry. I could play Far Cry forever. They tweaked it. Every year they just tweak it a little bit. And everyone's like, oh, it's the same game again. I'm like, I don't care. I'll keep playing it. They finally tweaked it enough that I'm like, I don't like what you did here. And what they did is they took away XP and, XP is still in the game, but all it does is unlock new items because all of your abilities are tied to gear. And I think I talked about this a little bit when we talked about it. Yeah. But the idea of like, I got spotted. Let me go put on my loud gear. It's just very annoying that there's not gear sets. Mm-hmm. And the story was a little too humdrum. The gameplay's fine. I had a good time, but also it was just, I cannot wait to like, it's like Far Cry 4 when they had Pagan Min and he's in your ear every 3 minutes and fucking, what the fuck? Oh, why am I spacing? What's that guy's name? The voice actor of Pagan Min. Batman? He was Joel
McHale?
No, Joel in The Last of Us. He was the most famous. He's the most famous dude. What?
Nolan North?
No, not. That's what? Are you fucking high? The other guy.
Not actually.
It's not Nolan North. It's the other. Nolan North was Uncharted.
Oh fuck!
Man.
It's what's his name?
He played Kaji. Why am I spacing? He's like everything.
Yeah, it's what's his name?
So people can hear us having a fucking...
Oh, yeah, this is getting left. What's the guy in Death Stranding?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Troy Baker. Why did I forget?
Because he's so fucking milquetoast and he's in everything.
No,
you just
shut
forget
up.
about
I like
him.
Troy Baker. He's very good. Anyway,
he is a great voice actor, but boy, I could hear another voice from every once in a while.
In fucking Far Cry 4, when he's playing Pagan Min and he's acting up a storm and you're talking to him every like 2 minutes, he's great. In Far Cry 5, when you've got Joseph Seed and all of the family constantly fucking with you, he's great. And then in this game, you got Anton Castillo. He's the dictator of Yara, and you're gonna go against him, and he's got like 5 cutscenes.
Yeah, fuck that.
What a disappointment.
That's how they do it nowadays, though. They hook you in with somebody cool, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we couldn't pay for them that much, so they're in like 10 minutes. So enjoy.
I'm gonna take Stubbs off my own list. I was disappointed because I never got to play it back on the Xbox, but I heard a bunch about it, and I thought, oh, they're gonna do a remaster, and it's just a port. And I think I was more disappointed. It's like, oh, it's just a port and it's broken. But that's fine. Outriders, I was disappointed.
I forgot.
I didn't know much about. I didn't know much about it. I just heard it was going to be like a loot shooter that you could play with friends. You know what? I would almost say I might want to put Outriders back on that best multiplayer just because it was cool that was the very first. That's the very first game where it's like, hey, you can play Outriders on PS5 with your friend on Xbox.
That is pretty cool. But like, does it really make it a best multiplayer?
No, it's just cool that they did that.
Just an honorable mention there, yeah.
Outriders is hollow and kind of shitty, but I guess I wasn't. I was just like, I get whatever. But new Pokemon Snap. I fucking love Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
same. It is such a great game.
It's one of the best 64 games.
Oh, absolutely. And then it's like, hey, welcome to new Pokemon Snap.
Do you want to grind for 20 hours?
13 times. I played that game for about 2 hours and never played it again.
I don't even think I unlocked everything just because
I played it on a plane ride, and halfway through I was just like, this sucks. Yeah. And I turned it off to watch what movie did I turned it off to watch an in-flight presentation of I think I just rewatched Star Trek. The one with Pine or something. So I don't know. I was very disappointed in that game. So the two games that I would go to bat for are New Pokemon Snap and Far Cry. So I know New Pokemon Snap is on there. I think Far Cry has to go in there. What other game are you very confident needs to be on this list?
I think Back 4 Blood.
I would agree. I was so ready when I heard about they're making fucking Left 4 Dead again. Fuck the fuck yes. And then Back 4 Blood came out and everything about it started showing up, and all of us were just like, my friends were just like, I don't fucking know about this. And a couple of people had it on Game Pass, and they're like, it's fine if you have Game Pass. I was like, I don't have Game Pass.
I'm so glad it was a Game Pass game, because I know people that bought the game for $60, and I was like, why the fuck did you do that? Because this game is dog shit. The game was dog shit in the beta, and it didn't get any better. And everyone's like, but it's Left 4 Dead, but progression.
The Left 4 Dead people are making a new Left 4 Dead, and it's got progression. This should have been $1 trillion game.
I don't know, because I think Left 4 Dead is one of the best arcade games you can play, and arcade games cannot have progression.
I feel like an arcade game with a little bit of progression just to keep you playing is fine, but their game is
dictated everything on progression.
Yeah, they did too much progression.
Am I more let down by this or Snap, though? That's the question.
That's the thing. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I feel like Far Cry 6 makes this list, but it doesn't win. It's only disappointing for me in that it's just like, it's not what I wanted. But I think it's either New Pokemon Snap or Back 4 Blood is winning this. And I played New Pokemon Snap. I spent money on it, and I didn't get what I wanted. I was smart enough not to buy Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
So I feel like for making me waste money, this has to go to New Pokemon Snap.
I'm we both had it on our list.
I like Pokemon Snap more than I like Left 4 Dead.
I like them equally.
So I know I'm a little bit older than you. When that game came out, I would go down. I would rent it. I would go down to I had my copy. I would go down to the Blockbuster. I'd put in a couple bucks, and they had the little thing where I could print out the little stickers and I put them on.
Cool.
So fuck New Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed by that game. The winner of most disappointing
ruined it.
Say that again?
Pokemon Snap played on our nostalgia and just fucking ruined it. Where Back 4 Blood, it's like, hey, look, if you like progression, well, then there's something for you here. And also,
there are definitely people who are into Back 4 Blood. I don't know anyone who's like, no Pokemon Snap, fuck you, except maybe like Nintendo Fangirl, but that's like Nintendo Fangirl loves everything because she's a fangirl. Yeah. Will love anything Nintendo does. Welcome, or thank you, congratulations. The most disappointing game of 2021, New Pokemon Snap, with runners-up Far Cry 6 and Back 4 Blood. Now, the other side of that, welcome to Best Surprise. This is the opposite. This is the game we thought was going to be dog shit and or knew nothing about, and then was like, oh, fuck. And just kind of blew everybody out of everywhere. So I have 3 for this that I think are very strong, and I don't see how anything else could be more surprising than these 3.
Okay.
And that's Deathloop, Guardians of the Galaxy, and It Takes Two. And the reasoning between all 3 of those is that Deathloop got fucking advertised for the last 8 years, and everyone was like, this game has to be dog shit because they keep showing it off and it looks bad and they don't say anything new and they're showing it off every 8 seconds. And man, I bet this game is hot dog shit. And then it turns out to be fucking amazing. It Takes Two was made by that fucker from the Game Awards who made A Way Out, which absolutely, A Way Out is unplayable shit. And It Takes Two was a lot of fun. And Guardians of the Galaxy came out of nowhere and everyone was so like, after this came from Square Enix, who made Marvel's Avengers, which fucking sucked. It's like, you're making a fucking Guardians of the... Oh, I bet that
yeah, this was kind of sold as like a spinoff.
It's going to suck. Yeah, and then it was like, oh shit, this game is good. Mm-hmm. Those are my 3. I don't see how you put up anything that's more surprising than those 3.
Okay, well, first off, I think we should do an episode about Deathloop because I didn't like it. Or I should say, I'm not really enjoying it right now.
I want to not be friends with you anymore.
I have a lot of problems with the gameplay, and I'm hoping that it's just something that I'm gonna get over, but I'm not into the moment to moment like gunplay, and like I haven't felt challenged yet in it.
Have you found a good like pneumatic nail gun and you just start picking dudes off in the head?
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good.
I don't. So that's the thing.
Have you played any of Charlie? Have you played any of Charlie Montague's games?
I don't think. I don't know.
I don't know if you've played enough of that game yet. Like,
yeah.
How many visionaries have you killed? How many visionaries have you killed?
1, 2.
Oh, yeah, dude. You are in the.
I'm still early. I'm still chipping away at it, but it's just like so far. It's kind of like meeting every expectation. I kind of feel like.
I feel like you haven't opened it up yet. That's just me. What are your 3?
I have 4, but I have because I have Bowser's Fury here. And because I had no expectation, no one knew it was happening or coming out.
Yeah,
and it fucking stunned everyone. And furthermore, that's how I want the next Mario to play. I just want it to play like that. Okay. And then I have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Because who knew? Who knew that this was going to be a new Melee? And then I have Pokemon Unite and Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, because both of those are multiplayer games of genres that I had no fucking clue how they were going to adapt these to these 2 franchises, and both executed very, very well.
This is interesting.
So much so that I still play these games like on my phone just because like they're the 2 phone games that I've actually enjoyed.
Which one are you going to champion the most?
I think Bowser's Fury has to win this.
I don't think it's going to win. I'm going to tell you this right now. I think that it definitely needs to be on this list because it did come out of nowhere and it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But the amount of surprise for, hey, Nintendo made a good Mario. Come on. Nintendo makes good Mario. Name a bad Mario. Hey, name a bad Mario. Don't say Mario is missing or Hotel Mario. Those don't count.
New Super Mario Brothers 2, the Golden Coins. 3DS?
Okay, that one. That one's not bad. It's just kind of boring. But name a bad Mario, like an unplayable. Like you knew they were going to make a good Mario, and hey, that's a good Mario. I think that Bowser can be on this list for coming out of nowhere, but I don't think, honestly, the levels of this game is absolute dog shit to holy shit, this game is great. Deathloop must be on this list for me. I know that you're saying you haven't opened it up yet, but I can't tell you how much I personally was like, Deathloop absolutely looks like dog shit. Deathloop has to be a bad. There's no way you can go through all of this and Deathloop can be a good game. 2, Deathloop is one of my favorite games of the year. Like, the low to high to me is the complete ends of the earth. I was ready. I had tweets saved to make fun of Deathloop when it came out about welcome. Now I can see why Microsoft bought Bethesda. They only buy losers. Yeah. To holy shit, Deathloop rules. So for me personally, Deathloop has to be on this list.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think it can win though, just because like I don't think that its gameplay is strong enough to care.
For you, that's fine. Then you know who I think actually wins this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just because it came out of nowhere and everyone just wrote it off immediately to, holy shit, everyone's telling me it's got to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think that's fair.
No one thought that was going to be a good video game. I remember when they showed it off on that Sony thing, people were like, was it the Summer Games Fest where it first came out?
Yeah, it was the...
Yeah, and everyone's just like, Square Enix, after that fucking bullshit with Marvels, is going to make a Guardians of the Galaxy game. The franchise that everyone already dogs on for being too much about pop culture references, this game is going to suck and we're all going to hate it. And what did everyone all of a sudden is like, hell, I'm hearing that Guardians is actually good. How many times have you heard? I heard someone say Guardians was actually good too. Guardians is being regaled as one of the best narratives of the year. Right? It would have won best narrative here if you hadn't have been such a fuck.
I chipped my coin in.
Yeah. So I feel like the winner of this category is Guardians of the Galaxy with
I'd be willing to even
and
like
Bowser.
I would give my my courtesy coin in on this one. I'll let you have this.
You can have
You can have Guardians.
You can have. Thank you so much. You can use that in a. Okay, so the best surprise is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy with runners up Bowser's Fury and Deathloop. Just Bowser's Fury, not the other part. We all knew that Super Mario 3D World was a good video game.
Yeah.
We're running out of categories here. Am I correct that we only have 3 categories left?
I think so. I think that's
okay.
I was just kind of skimming through my list, and I was like, yeah, I think
so. The next one is going to be pretty quick because it's mostly going to be for me. I don't know if you have much input on this one.
Okay.
But it's best trophy list.
Yeah, this was a hard one for me because I don't really look at trophy lists too much. Like there's something that well, I know this is the show, but this is my role in the show is that I don't really have many trophies. So
we should have a category to go with this that like I get to give out and then you get to give out. Okay, how about this? While I'm talking about best trophy list, you quickly think up a category that only you get to talk about.
Oh.
It can be anything you want that isn't treading on the next 2 or treading on something we already did. Like best NPC in Final Fantasy or something. Okay, best trophy list. Okay, the nominees are Deathloop, Hitman 3, and Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart. I want to talk about these trophy lists really quick. The number 1 is that none of these trophy lists have missable trophies. There was a little problem in Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart at first where one of them was missable, but it has been fixed. But the great part about all these lists is that none of the trophies are too grindy. Hitman 3, you could say, is a little grindy because it has one for reaching level 20 mastery on each map. However, mastery isn't as hard as in Hitman 1 and 2. Like, all you have to do is just do a lot of like the discovering and do a lot of things, and you will get it. There's a trophy for like discovering every piece on every map in all 6 maps, but it's not that hard if you just kind of go everywhere. Basically, it's a do everything and you'll get the trophy. Ratchet and Clank is a very simple but fun trophy in that it's get most of everything. There's one for getting all collectibles of one type, but it's not get all collectibles. It's got one of the highest percentages for a AAA game out of all Sony games for the platinum, which is I think at like 65%. It's a higher percentage. More people are platinuming Ratchet and Clank than they are Spider-Man, and everyone was platinuming Spider-Man because it was literally just do everything. But I think the winner for best trophy list of the year is going to Deathloop, and I'll tell you why. Deathloop is a great trophy list because Deathloop's trophy list is very simple. It is do everything, see everything, try everything with a couple little bit of challenges. They've got one for, you've got your story progression ones, but you've also got one for trying different weapons, trying different things, killing people in new and interesting ways. The hardest trophy in the game is probably one for pulling off the very end part of the game without being seen, but that's the only time that it ever forces you to be silent. Other than that, it never really restricts your gameplay, which is a thing that can sometimes happen in games, especially made by Arcane.
Yeah.
When you look at like Dishonored 2, and Death of the Outsider, they all have like get through the entire game without ever being seen once, and those can be a hassle. With the exception of one map, and it's only one part which you can easily restart. They say, we just want you to play, however you want, and we'll make it like, hey, if you kill this person with this thing, you'll get a trophy. Like each one of the visionaries has an optional trophy for killing in a new and exciting way. It encourages exploration in a really fun way and trying different ways to kill every time. The only real collection trophy is like get one of every weapon, but that's not that hard. I think without a doubt, the platinum out of all the new games that came out this year that I had fun top to tail with every trophy, because if it wasn't for one trophy, this would be Resident Evil 8 Village. But fuck that legendary cowboy trophy.
Yeah.
Whoever, fuck you, motherfucker. I still want to go back and try it again on PS4 just to say fuck you to Capcom. But the best trophy list of the year, Deathloop. If you're into trophies and you've got a PS5, play Deathloop. Deathloop number 1 with follow-up, Hitman 3, and Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart. Thank you very much. This has been Ryan's Corner. What is yours?
Well, actually, whenever I was actually looking at this category, really the only one that stood out to me was the Nickelodeon All-Stars one, because it's a very simple, short list, and like the only grindy thing in it is doing 50 ranked games, but you can do that with a friend.
3 NPCs on the highest difficulty by yourself. Fuck that.
No, that's super easy. That took me like 5 minutes. It was so cake. Because the thing is you can set them to one stock. So just get in 3 really good hits. But yeah, so here's a category that I really wanted to do, right?
Okay, let's hear it.
It is called the 20-year look back. This is the game of the year for 2001.
Fuck, wait, hold on. I gotta look up what games came out in 2001.
Okay. Because I can tell you my list right here, I've got 5 games. It's Sonic Adventure 2, Halo Combat Evolved, Final Fantasy X, Grand Theft Auto 3, and Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Just looking through what Google has, I already see 2 of my favorite games on here, which are SSX Tricky and Advance Wars on the GBA.
Oh, Advance Wars is really good.
And The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. Let's each give an award for this.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, so Chris's 20-year look back, the best game of 2001 is with runners up. Go.
Easily Sonic Adventure 2. That game is too fucking good. It's still playable today. Like, it's still fun. It's the best 3D Sonic game. And it's what defines Sonic right now. So it's kind of hard to not look at it, right? It is the thing that every game that has succeeded it is what it's trying to be. This is the pinnacle of Sonic, and nothing has gotten close to it since that in the last 20 years. The follow-ups I'd give, it would probably have to go to Halo Combat Evolved and Super Smash Bros. Melee. Those are both games that, like...
They're both really good games.
Really solid multiplayer games that you can still play today, and they're still just as fun today as they were in 2001. Yeah. Like, those games have not aged at all.
Putting myself back into the mindset of 2001, Ryan, I have to say the game of the year for 2001 is a co-split. I count these as one game, but it's The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons. Mm-hmm. I still think those are some of the best 2D Zelda games, if not up against, I would say the best. Maybe you could put Link's Awakening against them. But I love the idea of 2 games that mashed up into one by continuing the story of setting Link in this weird world, one that was ruled by seasons and one that was ruled by time. And I love that the different order that you play them in influences the story. So if you play seasons first, people in seasons will show up in ages, and vice versa. Yeah. There was also a ring system. You could have rings that would give you power-ups that you could get, and you could bring those rings from one game to the other. And if you own both games and beat them at the end, there was an ultra final boss of like... Have you ever played these?
Yeah, I love these.
It wasn't a link table. They were.
Did they
codes.
use the infrared? Oh, okay.
They used, at the end of the game, they'd say, "Here's your code. Put it in, and start when you start a new game." And they're like, "There's an option for like starting a new game with a code, and it would bring all your shit over and bring over the stuff from the game." And it's like each game has its own final boss, but when you finally beat the second game in the code, then you find out this whole time that everything's been going on, it's been fucking Ganon again, and then you get this bomb-ass Ganon fight. And then the follow-ups have to be SSX Tricky, just for the hundreds of hours I spent playing that game with my friend Brad. That was our go-to like one of our favorite go-to multiplayer games is let's just play some Tricky and just fucking cruise down this aisle and it's time to rock a rhyme, it's Tricky. And then Advance Wars on the GBA. Love that game. Played that game. I think I talked about this, but like during 9/11, me and my friends were playing like GBA games and we were playing Advance Wars and we were playing like, I'm pretty sure we were playing Mario Kart. I can't remember. So Advance Wars was there for me. Those would be the 3 games that got me through a very weird year.
Yeah.
That's a very Nintendo-based year for me.
In 2000.
Because we played Tricky on the GameCube.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have very fond memories of Oracle of Seasons and Ages because it was a game that I bought Seasons and my friend bought Ages, and whenever we beat it, we traded copies.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was like, because when you're a kid and you don't have money to buy 2 games, especially like at that time, it was like you got one of the 2 Pokemon games. It was like you get one of these,
I'd have been 15 and I didn't have a job yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like either, doing whatever I could to get money or just like mowing lawns or whatever. And I remember I bought Seasons, but I didn't have money to buy Ages. So then I just had to wait and get enough money then to buy Ages. And I think I got a job. Like my uncle was working at a furniture store and I got an under the table. This was my first job under the table. Like, those dudes that'll have like the sign that says furniture sale.
Yeah.
And they paid me like $50 to do that for a weekend. And it was like, I remember the first time I did that, I was like, I can fucking buy, holy shit, I can buy Zelda and then have enough money that the next time I do this, I can buy WCW NWO Revenge. And so, yeah. That's a good kind of.
I really want them to remake that game, Oracle of Seasons and Ages. Like make them into like one package.
They re-released. They did. I mean, they didn't remake them, but they re-released them on 3DS.
Yeah, but I want them like redone. Like do it like the Link's Awakening one, because they're kind of similar. Like same. Weren't they made by Capcom as well?
I mean, Link's Awakening wasn't made by Capcom, but Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons were made by Capcom.
Yeah.
All right. Good category.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
All
so
right, we got 2 categories.
We'll do 2002.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. This one should go quick. The worst game of 2021.
Ooh.
This is the game that came out that you played that was like, this game fucking sucks. I have very strong feelings this year. I have 3 very good games to put up. Okay. What do you have?
I have 4 games, 2 of which are, well...
What?
One of them I didn't play. It was just kind of like based on your opinion of it, and I was just
no.
Play it. Okay, I'm taking it off.
Maybe don't.
I got 3.
Let me say mine, and then if I don't say that game, you can tell me.
Go for it, because you're not going to say it.
Let me say my games then.
Okay.
The worst 3 games of 2021 for sure are Olympic Games Tokyo 2020,
okay,
12 Minutes, and The Medium. What are your worst games?
Okay. I've got Olympic Games 2020. I've got Metroid Dread.
No, that's not going on this list.
New Pokemon Snap and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory.
What was the one that you thought I wouldn't like?
Far Cry 6.
No, that game's probably in my top 10. Yeah. I love that game.
It's mostly just all the opinions around it that made me want to put it there.
I love that game. It's still a fun game. It's just I was disappointed. It could have been more. I'm going to tell you right now, Metroid Dread isn't the worst game of 2021. I know that you don't like it, but it's not. Let me point out really quick. Let me tell you why 12 Minutes needs to go on this list. Do you know anything about 12 Minutes?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. It looks absolute dog shit.
No. Do you know the story of 12 Minutes?
Yeah, isn't it like there's a murder and you have to like you're constantly going through time, but isn't it like you're the fucking killer or something stupid?
Hold on. Shut up.
Kill your wife.
Chris, this is a pro-incest game.
Okay, this is the worst game of the year.
Here's the story of 12 Minutes. You're playing this guy that keeps going home, and then this cop comes in and arrests your wife and then chokes you to death. And going through the loop, you find out that the cop is trying to arrest your wife because he thinks your wife killed her own dad, like 8 years ago, and that was the cop's like mentor was the dad. And there's a watch in the bathroom that he was worth a lot of money, but you find out he's really doing it because he wants to watch because his daughter has cancer and he wants to sell the watch. And you keep going through time and you solve it, and then it doesn't, like, you finally solve it. You go through all these loops and you find out a way to, like, prove to him, A, that she didn't do it, B, that you tell her about how he needs the watch and how she selflessly gives it up for the daughter, and you prove, like, everything will be happy. Also, your wife's pregnant and having your baby, and you're like, everything is good. And then you do it and you think, we get it. And then the loop resets and you're still in the world and you're like, what the fuck? So you do it again. You do everything the same. The difference is that you find out the killer is that the wife has a half brother because her husband slept with a nanny and had this, you know, she has this half brother who's just a piece of shit. He calls him the monster. And it turns out he's the one that killed her, and you can prove it. But the cop can't remember the name of the nanny to look after it. Every loop, the wife is giving you this present because we're going to have a baby. And it gives you a little onesie, and it's got your mom's name on it. Her mom's name is Dahlia. When you finally do it, you're like, I can't remember the mom's name. You say, is this the mom's name? Oh, yeah, that is the mom's name. Guess what? You're the half-brother that killed the dad. Sounds crazy, right?
Okay.
Well, guess what? Not really, because the time loop's not real. Now cut back to what's actually happening is that you're the brother, the half-brother, who's talking to your dad because you didn't know that the girl that you've been seeing and fallen in love with is actually your half-sister. You have there was no murder. The detective is actually the manifestation of your thoughts of your own dad. And what it is that you're sitting in a room playing out the details of what would happen if you would either A, tell your girlfriend that you're trying to marry that you're actually half brothers, or half brother, half sister, or you can you can imagine where you tell her the truth and you like deal with it or whatever. You can also imagine a past where you walk away and you never see her again, and then the way that you end the game is you just stare at a clock until it ends. But there's a path in this game where you can say, you can make your character say, yeah, it's okay that she's my half-sister. I love her, and we'll be happy, and she'll understand. The game has a pro-incest storyline.
Yeah, that's the worst game in 2021. We don't even need runners-up.
Also,
like, that's the only one.
Also, the game just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Because
Everyone
a lot of
likes
time loop games came out this year, right? We played a lot of games with loops.
Yeah, there really were, weren't there?
And a lot of them, you'll get to in Deathloop, there are parts where it's like, once you've discovered what to do, you can just say, all right, I get it, and that part is now automated. Mm-hmm. There's a great game that I wanted to play that I haven't played called The Forgotten City, which is about another time loop thing that I've heard a lot about. And I was thinking about putting it on the games that we didn't play this year, but we should have. But I took it off just because I figured you'd never heard of it.
Isn't that like a Skyrim thing?
Yeah, it's the Skyrim mod that they turned into a game. But apparently in that game, too, it's like once you've solved a puzzle, there's this character whose job is to say, hey, I solved this puzzle. Go do it for me. And this NPC just goes and does it for you so that you don't have to keep doing puzzles. 12 minutes? Every single time that you want to do a new loop, I have to go pick up the mug. I have to put the water in the mug. I have to go put the sleeping pills in the mug. Okay, I got to go in here and I got to go in here. I got to drug my wife so that the cop can come in and see her on the bed and then I'm shocked. Like, you just are constantly doing the same thing over and over and over. This game was sold on being James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, or Willem Dafoe, and James McAvoy and Daisy Ridley phone it the fuck in. The only person that really tries is Willem Dafoe because he's insane and always tries. 12 minutes fucking sucks.
Yeah. That game.
I think 12 minutes has to be on this list. I think Olympic Games has to be on this list. And the medium, really quickly, I'll just say I thought sucked because I like Bloober Team, but I felt like that this game was just walking a lot and the puzzles were kind of shitty. There was just go over here, pick something up, go over here, pick it up. If this doesn't make it on the list, it's fine. I just do want to say fuck the medium. I thought it was shitty.
How about we put Olympic Games on there as a runner-up for sure? I want 12 minutes to be the worst game.
I absolutely agree. It's the worst game of the year. What do you want to be the other runner-up? I will let you choose. I want it to be Kingdom
Hearts Melody of Memory because they put a fucking story thing that helps wrap up the third fucking game that they couldn't even fucking finish in this shitty fucking, like, should be mobile fucking music game.
Is it a bad music game?
I'm sure it's okay, but it's.
Do you hold on? Do you just hate it because it should
put story shit in it?
I feel like this should probably go in most disappointing. If it's not a bad video game, if it's not a bad video game, it can't be in here. Like we can retroactively go and put it back in biggest disappointment or something. I'll take Far Cry 6 out if you want. We'll put it in, but like,
okay, that's fair.
Is this game actually bad?
I don't even want to play it. That's why.
Did you play it?
No, because it pisses me off.
Okay, hold on. Time out.
That's why it's the worst.
All right, new category.
Look, if it's so bad that you like refuse to play it, can't that be the worst game?
No, because you didn't play it. You didn't play it.
Okay, I would put new Pokemon Snap because that game.
It's not that game's not bad though. This is for games that are terrible. New Pokemon Snap is disappointing. It won our most disappointing game.
I think it's disappointing and bad.
No, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's kind of boring. I don't think it's a unplayable mess.
I think it's got a bad gameplay loop. It's too grindy. I think it relies.
What else did you have? What else did you have?
Oh my god, my thing isn't working. There we go. I also had
it can't be Metroid Dread.
Yeah, because it
can't be that
bad.
You're not naming bad games. You're just naming games that you're disappointed in, but aren't like objectively.
No, because like I think objectively these are like not only that, they have zero accessibility to them. Like at least the two Nintendo games.
We'll put Melody and I'm not putting Metroid Dread on this list, and I'm not putting new Pokemon Snap because it already won most disappointing.
Yeah,
but disappointing can't like it's not a bad like it is a serviceable video game. It's not a broken piece of shit, and it's not a game trying to say that it's okay to sleep with your half sister.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like we should just have 12 minutes be the worst game. Nothing.
It is absolutely the worst game. But no, because Olympic Games 2020 needs to be.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Fucking sick. All right, so the worst game of 2021 is 12 minutes with runners up. Olympic Games, the official Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020, and fucking
Melody of Memory, because fuck that shit.
It might be fun. Chris is.
It might be fun. All right, but it's bullshit that they did it.
All right, we're doing this now. We're doing best game. All chips are off. We're making a list. I'm going to say this. You can only say 10 games. I'm going to say 10 games. Any that match are pretty much on the list.
Are we saving
after that
anticipated for after it then?
Oh fuck! I forgot about that category. All right. Didn't write it down because I forgot. Okay, really quickly. Most anticipated game of 2022. What you got?
I have 6 games. I'm really excited. I have Digimon Survive.
Okay.
Chocobo GP.
I don't know what that is.
It's like Mario Kart, but it's Final Fantasy.
What else?
Stranger in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin.
Okay.
Splatoon 3.
Okay.
Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
And
no. Sonic Frontiers doesn't count because it does not have a set release date.
That's what I was going to say, because that and Final Fantasy 16 are both ones that they're really strongly hinting that they're end of
I think it's got to be a game that has a set release date.
Yeah, and like, those 4 have set release dates. This game is coming
out in 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
my 3 that are definitely are announced to come out next year are Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, and Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, man. I'm not going to let you put Hogwarts there.
Listen, I know that
J.K. Rowling.
I know she sucks.
She sucks.
However, she's not making this game. She's not getting any money from this game.
She is getting royalties from it.
She's not.
She absolutely is.
No, because she fucking sold that thing to WB, and WB don't get her own money. I want to fucking play an open world game in Hogwarts. Like
no one wants it more than I do, but like I can't support it. I won't. That's the thing. I won't buy it.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy 2 copies to fuck you over.
If you buy a copy and hand one to me, then I might check it out. But like, I cannot give
you buy me a copy of God of War Ragnarok and hand it to me, and then it would all work out. Yeah. So stupid.
Some weird loophole stuff. This is
I
like
am 100%. Listen, I'm 100% on fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
I get it. She sucks.
Fuck that bitch.
The transphobic shit aside, which is terrible.
Right.
And that's the reason most people hate her. I've hated her ever since she started. Anyone that fucks with their own, it's like, it's out. You're done. And she's like, oh, by the way, wizards would poop on the floor. By the way, wait, she's doing the thing that I hate about Blizzard that they did with Overwatch, which is, we'll make people gay and then you'll give us our money. It is so pandering.
Mm-hmm.
like you can tell that she doesn't give a shit about anyone. She'll just say whatever it takes to get money. Fuck her. That being said, I want to play this game so fucking bad, and I don't give a shit about it where the money goes. I'm playing the fucking game because I think you sometimes have to separate art from artists. I still like Ren and Stimpy, even though I know that guy fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, so I did look into it just now, and it says that she does get a kickback from it.
Okay, that sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
That
I'm still playing that fucking game. I'm telling you right now. Listen, I'm gonna. She sucks.
She does.
I'm not supporting her.
Absolute.
But a different company is taking what she took, which she gets some money. That's terrible, and they're making a cool video game. I'm playing the cool video game. If you don't want to put it on this list because of that, I understand. I'm still playing the fucking cool video game. So tell you what, I'll take it off and I'll say Elden Ring.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
So
is that
what are our top
for next year? Oh yeah, that's like early next
year. For like next fucking month.
Oh my god, that's right.
It's coming out in either late January or all of the games I've said are actually God of War doesn't have a date, but like Elden Ring's coming out in either late January, early February, and Horizon Forbidden West is coming out in 2 fucking months.
Yeah, I think all these are pretty early too. I think Splatoon might be like May, but like yeah, these are all like first.
Splatoon is coming out. It doesn't have a confirmed date. It just says 2000.
Yeah, but it will be next year. Like that, Nintendo doesn't do that shit. So they're definitely next summer. Those games have always come out in May, so that's my guess. Is I bet it comes out in May because they always want it to be the summer game.
What game are you the most like fuck yeah about?
Digimon
also,
Survive.
Hold on really quick. I'm going to say that this doesn't count as mine. Horizon Forbidden West is going on this list for sure, just because if we don't, your wife will yell at us.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. We will definitely put it there.
I'm going to say that my pick is God of War Ragnarok and your pick is Digimon.
Digimon Survive, yeah.
Okay.
I'm fucking stoked. I've been so fucking stoked for that game, but it just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and it makes me happier because that means that they're just making it better and better and better.
Well, what wins? What's the most anticipated game of next year?
I mean,
it's the only one of these 3 that has a significant, like God of War Ragnarok is just coming. It says port or whatever, but like Horizon Forbidden West is coming out in 2 months. I feel like that's the most anticipated game.
Let me try and sway you here.
I don't give a shit about Digimon.
I know, but what if it were just what if it's Persona? But the battle system is now it's a tactic system. Like it's going to use like animated cutscenes, just like Persona.
You fool!
It'll have Persona systems.
Do you think I play Persona for the video game?
What do you play?
The gameplay of Persona is fine. I play Persona for Persona.
Mm-hmm.
I
just has like this like darker theme to it, and that's what makes me excited. And the animated cutscenes.
Going on dates, and then I go and make curry, and then I use that curry to get better stats in the dungeon, and then I go and spend a day at a place where I buy a new retro video game system, and then I fix it with my cat who can talk, who's from the metaverse, and then I play that, and I get more guts, and then that lets me go talk to the girl, and I take her out on a date, and then we go, and then we fall in love, and then I get special chocolate on my birthday.
I would say we have to give it to Horizon.
Horizon Forbidden West, the most anticipated game of next year. I mostly listen. I really want to play Horizon. I love that whole thing. I am a little more excited for God of War Ragnarok just because I fucking love throwing an axe at people. But we'll give the winner to Horizon Forbidden West. We'll call this the Soup Award.
The Soup Award.
For if you don't know, Soup is the online name of Chris's wife, who fell in love with Horizon this year, and I support her. She ever get the platinum? Did she get the platinum?
No.
What the fuck? Get her on the phone right now.
She's in bed.
Go wait. Fucking kick her up. Don't do that. Yeah. All right, dude. Let's get to the end here because this was
this is it. This is the big boy.
Okay, I'm gonna write down your list next to my list, and we're gonna start from 10 to 1. I would like you to tell me the best games of 2021.
Okay, 10 to 1. Here we go.
Yeah.
It made its way here. Final Fantasy VII.
It's not going to go. No, there's no fucking way. But okay. Soldier. Okay, First Soldier. You're crazy. What's next?
10. Team Fight Simulator is 9. I have Pokemon Unite an 8.
Okay, 7.
Nier Replicant at 7. At 6, I've got Loop Hero. At 5, I've got Resident Evil Village. 4, I've got Psychonauts 2. At 3, I have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. At 2, I've got Forza Horizon 5, and then number 1 is Final Fantasy XIV EndWalker.
This is going to be hard because we only share one game.
And that would be Village.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. Okay, so here's my 10-1. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Number 10, Inscription. Wait a second, hold on. Yeah, number 10, Inscription. Number 9, Far Cry 6. Number 8, It Takes Two. Number 7, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 5, Persona 5 Strikers. Number 4, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. Number 3, Hitman 3. Number 2, Deathloop. And number 1, Resident Evil Village. How the fuck are we going to do this with 2 people? All right, I'm telling you right, you can cut one of mine, but I'm telling you right now, Final Fantasy VII, the fucking phone game, I'd die before I let it go on this list.
That's fair.
And I still contend that Nier Replicant is not a new game. I know you're saying that whatever, but it is a remake of an old game with new stuff. It is not a new game.
Do you want to hear something wild about it?
Go ahead.
It's because of Final Fantasy XIV that it's a new game. Because
Bullshit.
Of the story
absolutely
that
not.
They put in.
Nier Replicant's not going on this list. Fuck you.
It is.
That doesn't count.
It is a sequel to the events that happened in the raid in 14.
Are there any on mine that you're like, there's no way it's going on this list?
I think Deathloop's really high.
Deathloop is going on the best games of the year.
And like, the only other thing that I think is
down, that's fine. Like the order is going to change as we talk. I'm just talking about you refuse to let it on this list. There's no way it can be on this list. Like if you wanted me to take Far Cry 6 off, I'd understand.
I no, because it's down low enough that I'm like, no, I could see where it gets there.
Once again, the numbers here can change.
That's true. Yeah, like the only 2 that I could think of would be It Takes Two and Far Cry 6, because I'm just like, I don't know about those.
Far Cry 6 can come off. You didn't play It Takes Two though.
No, I didn't. I mean, I've watched 10 plays.
I honestly think if you and your wife sat down and played it, you'd have a fun time. You would say the story sucks and you would laugh at it, but the gameplay wise, it is a great time to play with a loved one. It's definitely not a family game, which I don't fucking understand. Okay. Well, for sure, Village is going on this list.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, Final Fantasy XIV is going on this list. I'm not fucking stupid. I know that's going to go on there.
Yeah.
For sure, Deathloop is going on this list.
Okay.
For sure, you're very strong on Forza.
Yeah, Forza's...
And you're very strong on Nick.
Yeah.
I'm very strong on Hitman and Ratchet.
Hitman, I can like say like I love the first 2. Like those are fucking phenomenal games, and if this is just an extension of that, then I totally see why it's up there.
It's an extension of that with new. It's the first time where it's not every level is just go kill a guy. The second, okay, so let me tell you some stuff about Hitman. So the first level of Hitman is in Dubai on that world's largest building, and it's just a Hitman level. It's fun, it's cool. There's a part where you can make a guy slip on a banana peel and fall off the world's largest building. It's great. The second level, you're like, okay, it's Dartmoor Manor. You're in this like upper, Scottish Highlands estate, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and kill a guy. And you to get in, the only way to get in the first time is to take the place of this like detective, and you get in there, and your target goes, somebody killed my fucking husband. Find out how, and it becomes Clue.
Okay,
you have to go. You have to go and like talk to people and find clues and determine who the murderer is, so that you can get her to believe you and take you back to a room where then she goes, I know that you're actually not that dude. I know you're Agent 47 here to kill me. You're here for this information that's in a safe. I'll just let you have it and I'll disappear. And then you can you take it and you make the decision. you can end that level by just disappearing, or then you can just shoot her in the fucking head anyway.
Huh.
The third level of that game is the Berlin Switch, where all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is going on? 10 people are like, every level after that first one becomes kind of different. The fifth level of that game is you're in some, I think, I don't remember the exact city. You're somewhere in China or Singapore or somewhere in Southeast Asia. And it's very simple. You need to break into, in one part of it, there's a guy doing weird experiments on people's brains. I need to go in there and kill him, and there's ways you can fuck with him. The second way is you're breaking into a special the International Contracts Association, which is like that's the in-universe place that like hires hitmen.
Right.
You need to break in and steal shit from their mainframe.
Okay.
And then the fifth level takes place at a winery where like all of the story of Hitman 1, 2, and 3 has been the story of like this kind of upper echelon that controls the world, and you're like killing them because you're fucking Hitman, because why? And so you get to finally go to one of their meetings and like take out their big dudes. But it's happening at a winery where you can smash a guy into a wine thing like grapes. It's great. And then the last level of that game is kind of the worst level out of any Hitman game. It's fine. It's more to wrap up the story of you dealing with this association. So it's you on a train, and it's not so much the big open map. It's literally, it's a linear thing where you're just, think of like any action movie where the dude is basically on a train with 100 guards, and you're just slowly going and killing all of them. And parts of it can be open and parts of it can be stealth. And it's weak, but it's fun. And then you finally get the end of the story. Hitman 3 is like 5 different games in one.
Right. I like that it changes up some of the gameplay a little bit, though.
So far we have 8. Okay. The other thing I think needs to be on this list is probably Psychonauts. So far we have Village, Final Fantasy XIV, Deathloop, Forza, Nick, Hitman, Ratchet, and Psychonauts. Is there one more game that you're like, dude, this has to go on this list? I've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on this list, and I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4 on this list.
No, I think you've hit like the 5 that okay. Like.
I feel very strongly that even if it's low on this list, I feel okay. We've got 2 spots left, and I've got 3 games that I feel need to be on this list. So you need to help me knock one of these games off then. Okay. And for me, it's between Persona 5 Strikers, Guardians, and Chicory. Chicory might be recency bias.
Uh-huh.
I did just finish it, but I feel it's a great game. Persona was mostly because it's more Persona, and then Guardians I thought was great. You haven't played any of these. No, you played Persona.
Yeah. I really love Muso games.
I feel like Persona should go on this list even if it's low.
Yeah.
So the question is the last spot on this list?
Yeah, that's 10.
No, that's 9.
Or 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have Village, Final Fantasy XIV, Deathloop, Forza, Nick All-Stars, Hitman 3, Ratchet and Clank, Psychonauts 2, and Persona 5. So we need one more, and for me it's between Guardians and Chicory.
Wait, list those 10 or 9 games again?
Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay.
Deathloop.
Yep.
Forza.
Yep.
Nick All-Stars.
Yep.
Hitman 3.
Yes.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
Psychonauts 2.
Yep.
Persona 5 Strikers.
Got it. Okay. Oh yeah, we are one.
It's hard for me because like Guardians was such a good time, but the gameplay was whatever. And Chicory I really liked, but it might be recency bias.
I think we should put Guardians there as like the 10th of the list. Like not that it's number 10, but yeah, like it's in the list.
I gotta say, Guardians is a great story. It's a great narrative. It really is the best narrative of the year, even though I was stopped by somebody who shall not be named. But gameplay wise, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, so now we have our top 10 games. Now we need to put these in order. So let's start with a vote. What do you think is the 10th best game on this list? I would say Forza because I don't give a shit about racing games. I know you like racing, but it's just racing. Yeah.
I really like racing games a lot. I
like kart games more. I like kart games more than sim games.
Yeah, but this game.
Are you okay with Forza being number 10?
I think I'm okay with it being number 10. I could see it being number 10. The only other thing I would put
Lower
than it would be like yeah, I could see it being number 10. Yeah.
Okay.
I could just see it being number 10.
I could see so that's off. What's the number 9 here?
I would say.
Can we say for sure? I think we know our number 1 and 2 because it's both our number 1s, and we're going to fight.
Yeah.
What is on top?
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with one of those being number 2, but
yeah,
one more than the other. So I would say number 9 for me on this list, only because I didn't play it, but I want to, would be Psychonauts.
See, I think Psychonauts deserves to be higher for sure, though.
Okay.
I could see Nickelodeon maybe fitting in there.
I'd be fine with that just because like I said, I am very excited to play with you next year.
Right.
Like, we are going to sit down and we're going to play it. Okay, so Nick All-Stars is number 9.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked that much about Nick All-Stars. Like,
I mean,
really
there isn't too much to say. It's just an amazing Smash clone. Like, the biggest difference about that game is that it adds another button. So normally in Smash Brothers, you have standard attack, and then you have special attacks, which are your A and then your B buttons. This has heavy attacks as well, and I think that adding that into the mix adds for interesting gameplay, because you now have the full triangle of, standard beats special, special beats heavy, or well, reverse that, I guess. But but then like, if you're using a heavy attack, your standard attacks are quicker, so they're going to get in through that. And I really love that triangle happening in a Smash Brothers game. I think that all of the characters are strong enough to be their own. Like, there aren't. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 characters that just, like, I'm never really going to play as them. I don't think they're very good, but some people make them work.
who do you main? Who's your main?
I'm a Garfield main now. Like, I play Garfield. Garfield fucking rules. Before Garfield, it was SpongeBob.
Garfield is great that he's in there, but Garfield isn't a Nicktoon, and that
right.
You're SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob and Cat Dog.
Who does SpongeBob play like if I was a Smasher?
The closest, because there isn't really like one-to-ones, but he is most reminiscent to like a fox to me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
I'm excited to play that game. I love that there's weird characters, so I'm all in on it. Okay. I'd like to say that I think number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. Once again, fantastic story, but looking at all these games, gameplay-wise, Guardians is not a bad game. I keep dogging on it. I want to make sure that we're nitpicking things that are great. Yeah. Guardians gameplay is fun, but it's not like, this gameplay is so good. The reason to play Guardians is for the Guardians should have been an animated television show, and then there's some gameplay in between because it's a video game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
isn't this kind of like it's similar gameplay that like the Avengers game was, right? But
no,
you just mostly play as just play as one character.
It's not. I mean, I played a little bit of the Avengers beta. It's not like that at all.
Oh, okay.
So here's the gameplay of Guardians of the Galaxy. You only play as Star-Lord.
Okay.
You have guns, and you can lock on with L2, and you fire with R2, and it's a continuous stream. He also has elemental guns that you can use. So everybody's got a health bar and a stun bar. And the stun bar is taken down by using elemental attacks. Like, some people will be stunned by ice. Some people will stunned by electricity. At the same time, you've got L1, which is Guardian mode, to stop at any time. And you can call on one of the Guardians to use a power that they have. And you can upgrade those to, like, all right, Rocket, I want you to throw these grenades. Or Groot, I want you to use your vines to trap this guy. And so they're on a cooldown and you can use them. And there are things like basically every fight scene is an arena, right? Like, you get to a place, oh no, guys pop out, and it goes into fight. And then like, oh, there's things on the map where it's like, there's a little tech thing, and if you press triangle, Rocket will put a bomb there, so the next person walks off it will blow up and shit like that. It's totally fine. The puzzles are all about, like, when you're not in combat, you can still go into Guardian mode, and everybody's got like a thing like Rocket can go in vents. Groot can, if you have special platforms, can make vines go up, or he can make bridges. Drax can pick up large objects and move them around, or crash down walls. and Gamora can either cut vines or pipes or things into the way, to get through, or she can climb up a wall and stick her sword in so that you can grab up and she'll throw you up and you get higher. So there's some good puzzle elements. It is like I said, it's a fun game, but gameplay is not the reason that you're coming to Guardians.
Right.
I want to say, though, that out of all these games, while it's out of all that's left, even though I haven't even played Psychonauts, and how I feel on Final Fantasy XIV, I would still rather play those than play Guardians again, because it was fun, but I wanted the story. Now that I've seen the story, it's like, all right, well, I've already seen
There isn't much to come back to now.
Yeah. So I think Guardians is a good 8.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you on that.
Okay.
There isn't much else. There isn't much else selling to me that game other than just people being like, oh yeah, the story is great, but that's all I really. Well, then the soundtrack, which I can put aside because I can listen to music any time of my life, but
it's just a good collection of it's got "I Ran" by Flock of Seagulls. You can listen to that anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we got left. We know our top 2. So for number 7, we've still got Deathloop, Hitman, Ratchet, Psychonauts, and Persona. This is where I put Psychonauts because once again, I haven't played it. What is the story of Psychonauts 2 without spoiling it too much for me? But we do have to talk about it.
If I don't spoil anything, it's easy to say just that. In Psychonauts 1 how Raz is kind of going through the different minds being like, oh, I can fix this, and then he constantly fucks up everything,
Yeah.
This is the opposite. This is him going into minds and being more supportive and empathic and sympathetic to what is happening and trying to find ways to help them cope. And it's it's a lot more personal because he understands mental distress and other things a little bit more in this. So it's not as chaotic. It's more of him actually trying to help.
How's the gameplay?
Gameplay is great. Is
it just another platformer?
Yeah, it's just another solid platformer is all it is.
I've heard a lot of weird shit about levels that are funny and shit. So
yeah.
Okay. How about this? I love Persona. You know how much I'm a Persona nut. Mm-hmm. But I am also not much of a Musoist.
Yeah.
Would you say that Psychonauts is better or worse than Persona 5 Strikers?
I would say it's better than Persona 5 Strikers.
Okay. Then I think Persona 5 Strikers is our number 7.
Okay.
And then I think number 6 is probably Psychonauts.
Yeah, I could see it fitting in right there.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We know what 1 and 2 are, so out of Hitman, Ratchet, and Deathloop, those are our 3, 4s, and 5s. Okay. You have only played Deathloop and you haven't played very much of it, but you're not hot on it so far.
Yeah, I'm not super hot on it. I don't first off, the first 30 to 40 minutes of me playing it was just setting up settings because I don't like how I move around. I don't like I don't know. It definitely feels like this game was made for you to play with a controller, and playing it on a PC was an afterthought for them.
Oh, okay. Your complaints are all things that are because you're not.
It might be because it's on PC that I'm playing, but I think that's a big problem, though. It's 2022. Every game you're making,
no, it's not. It's 2021.
Okay, it's 2021. You're right, but we're almost into 2022, and it's at the point where if you cannot make your game, yes. But if you cannot make your game to feel good on the most played platform,
this was a game that was made for PlayStation. They only released it on PC because of the deal. It was never going to come out on PC until fucking Microsoft bought it. So playing on a keyboard was second hindsight, right?
It was all
of a sudden it's oh, you got to do it.
I think that's a little mixed because I think that the game was only timed for 1 year exclusivity on the PlayStation, even before it was bought.
For the PlayStation first, and then they could have easily made it later. And now it's no, you got to put it out the same day. Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
So I feel like your argument that they should be making for that doesn't hold water when it was supposed to be at first a console exclusive. But
the problem is that you still launched it there, and on top of that.
Go ahead.
It should just be easier to make games like the thing is that it's a PC. You have more buttons, you have more ways to control everything. So why does it feel like there are not enough options is my problem. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
Neither of us make video games. It's probably very hard to just add buttons. I'm going to say that. I've never made a video game.
Maybe.
I bet it's not.
It's got to be a programming issue.
Just do it better kind of sucks.
Yeah, but the thing is that like if you can't do it better and you know that it's bad, then you need to delay it. You need to do something to make it good, because you can't just ship it and say, "Oh well, it wasn't made for this."
PC version. I'm talking on my list.
Right, that's what I mean, though.
The PS5 version is the version going on my list.
Yeah,
the PS5 version doesn't have that problem.
Right, and that's the thing is that, but that's the thing is you still launched it on PC, so it's like
PlayStation didn't. That's fucking. You want to blame anyone? You blame fucking Bethesda. Fuck you, Bethesda.
That's true.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Even though Deathloop is my second favorite game of the year, we will acquiesce to your inability to play games correctly, and we will put it number 5.
That's fair.
I would like to put Ratchet at number 4.
Okay.
And I'd like to put Hitman at number 3.
And okay.
You have a problem with that?
No, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I like Ratchet being a number 4.
And now, the argument that we've been willing to have. Resident Evil Village is the best video game of 2021. Not EndWalker, and let me tell you why. You have to have played Final Fantasy XIV for 10 years to come into EndWalker. And if you didn't, the game makes no fucking sense. And that's why Village, the only game you had to have played, is one game that came out 4 years ago that you can still play now. And by the way, you can beat that game in an hour and 50 minutes. The best game is Village because more people can play it. Dispute that.
I can't dispute that. I can't dispute that Final Fantasy XIV has a beautiful, storied history that you do have to play through. Like, and you know what? That's like boohoo. That's like saying, I couldn't watch Endgame because there were 20 movies ahead of it. That sucks. I'm sorry you missed out on that, but like you can catch up. You can still watch it.
Because I refuse to buy a PS5.
No, because that's different. That's because they launched that shit day one and we're like, hey, this is an inferior version. Please buy it for the same price.
PlayStation didn't. Blame Bethesda.
But hey, it's still called Deathloop. That's the thing.
Well, Deathloop, PS4 version, PS5 version only. Listen, I know that you like all jokes aside, we had a discussion like, would we allow EndWalker on this because it is technically an expansion. It's not a new video game. But I know how much you love this game, and that's why it's made its way into this list. It's made it on a couple categories.
I'm willing to let it be at number 2 just because I know how much it takes to get into the game. And I know
I only ever played A Realm Reborn and what the fuck was the next one called? The Heaven's Ward.
Yeah.
I fell off, and I never played Stormblood, and I never played Shadowbringers, even though I fucking own them, because you're like, just buy it, we'll play together, and then we never did.
That's because there's a lot of things why we didn't play together. Yeah. You had every opportunity, though.
No, I don't know about that. But I feel like it is a game that is... Here's why it can't be the best game of the year. You can't even buy the game right now. They won't let you.
That's absolutely true. You can't buy it. There was a really funny tweet that I saw that was like, Final Fantasy XIV has to be the first game that had to stop sales because it was so bad, and then stop sales because it was too good.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Look, I think that calling EndWalker the second best game of the year is fine in that I know it's your number 1.
Yeah,
and
it will always be there.
It'll always be your number 1. And I think that as a list for what this podcast that is you and me together.
Yeah,
we have one person who would die for this game and another person who felt strongly about the whole franchise until he had to hear about it every single fucking week and went, I can't stand this fucking game. But can understand that their friend.
Yeah.
loves it.
I think if you played the story, like actually give it the shot, you will see what I'm talking about. Because
I absolutely would. I'm not playing
it
five.
takes a long time. Yeah.
Fucking. Here's the other thing. Why? When it comes down to it, I really did try to come back to Final Fantasy XIV when you were playing it, when everyone was playing it. I think I've hit what I call my internal WoW limit. I've played enough MMOs that, yes, the story is good, but the interim of press 1, press 1, press 1, press 2, press 1.
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore.
That's fair.
I've lost my... Listen, MMOs were a huge part of my life from when it was... I started playing WoW in 2005. I think it came out in 2004, right?
Yeah, 2004. I believe.
And I started playing it. It came out in like November 2004, and I finally was able to start playing it. I think I started playing it in like May of 2005, because when it came out, I didn't really know what it was, and I knew it was an MMO, and the only MMO I played up to that point was City Heroes, and I was like, I don't know. That was fun, but I didn't like the rating aspect of it, and I finally had a couple friends who was like, let's all play it together. If we buy it all together, we'll play it. And I'm like, okay, now I'll get it because I'm playing with friends. And wow! Fucking game. And then, I got into raiding and I found new friends because of it, and it was just like, that is a game that I spent hours playing. I would do everything for, and that game was a huge part of my life. It's why, even though it's not my favorite game anymore, I still would always say, when we were talking about best games of all time, I always say it's an honorable mention because it did have a huge part of my life, even though it doesn't anymore.
Right. But
I've tried going back to MMOs. When the newest expansion for WoW came out, what the fuck is it called? Where they're in hell, the afterlife. Isn't it called Shadowbringers also?
It's called Shadowlands, I think. Shadowlands.
Yeah. Me and some friends picked it up and was like, let's play. And we played it for about 3 days, and I went, I can't fucking do this shit anymore. All I'm doing is tapping 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. All right, know your rotation. It's not fun. It's just do the same thing over again. All MMOs are a Skinner box. They're just getting you. Now, granted, Final Fantasy XIV seems to be the one where they actually made a good story, and they hooked you in with that, because the story of WoW has always been bullshit. Yeah. But it was that Skinner box of, if I do this, I'll get the thing, and then I get the thing, and then I got the little purple thing, and then everything's great, and I got the achievements, and I got the maps, and I got that. And Final Fantasy XIV has that, but also has a good story. But at the end of the day, I cannot sit in front of my computer for 6 hours, hitting 1, and then being told, all right, I can no longer do every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You need to be on from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. We're going to do progression. We're going to sit here. We're going to bash our head against the same thing until we get it right. Oh, Fred died, so we all have to reset. Oh, Fred died again. We all I cannot do it anymore. It's why I don't really play multiplayer games anymore. I'm done relying on other idiots. I can't do it.
I can totally
I respect
that, right?
I respect your love of Final Fantasy XIV and its story and its gameplay, and its place and what it does in the emotional journey. But I'm 36 now, and I cannot play fucking MMOs.
I totally feel you. My only thing to combat that would say, I think that it's worth it. Like, I know.
Of course you do.
No. But like, the biggest sin of this game is that it is an MMORPG, and it's something that does take time to play. I think that they hold your time in a better or they respect your time a lot more in this game, especially the way that they release content and how the expansion is just set up to begin with. Because sure, I played the hell out of it for a week, right? And to beat the story, and I did all the dungeons. And sure, you know, if that style of gameplay isn't your thing, I totally understand. I think Final Fantasy's bosses and the way that you have the constant dance of combat is so much more interactive than WoW or any other MMO that's on the market.
I'm fully willing to admit that Final Fantasy XIV is a better game than WoW now.
Right.
I have no problem with that.
But the thing is that I beat the story. So the thing is now I'm to this point where, like, sure, I am raiding, I'm doing EX fights and stuff. Like, I'm doing all that. Savage comes out next week. I'm going to be doing that. And I'm excited. Like, I love the grind of, you know, making numbers go up and getting better gear and the glamour in game, you know, of dressing up my character and whatnot, building a house. I love all of those moment to moment gameplay things. Having said that, I am done. So the thing is that I log in. Granted, I log in a lot more because I help a lot of players get through the story. Like I've helped, I don't know how many people start from, arriving off the boat in one of the 3 main cities and going all the way through all 4 expansions to the end of the game. I've done that I don't know how many times, and that's what I spend most of my time in the game doing. But because most of my friends are now at that point where it's EndWalker and they beat the game, I'm not logging in as much because I have other games to play and I'm done with what they've given me so far. So now I'm just waiting for them to give me some more. And that's what Yoshi P has always said about this game. He's like, I get it. There are other games to play. Please go play those. Like, I don't want you to grind this game. Like, you can come in and grind if you want, but there isn't a big enough grind for me right now. So I'm not playing it as much right now.
I respect that.
So good. It is worth everyone's time.
I bet that story is great.
It's
much like I was talking about again in Guardians. If you made that a fucking 28-part miniseries on Netflix called Final Fantasy EndWalker, and it's the story of the Warrior of Light, and give him or her or they or whatever you play it as a voice, and give it the whole story and epic. I'll fucking watch that TV show.
I'll just record like a Let's Play series of just the story and just be like, here you go. You can just watch
all of the gameplay and I will watch it and I bet I'll love it. I don't give 2 fucks about playing an MMO anymore. And it's like, I want to play with my friends. You know what I realized? I can just talk to you guys while you guys are playing.
Yeah.
And I don't have to play.
Right.
But that being said, the best game of 2022 that we have barely talked about, but we all know is the best, is Resident Evil Village, because Capcom took a series that was relatively dust.
Yeah.
5 and 6, I like 5.
I like 5 too. It's not good, but I like it.
No, it's not good. And I know 6 is absolute dog shit, but I had fun playing with my friend Bruce and shitting on it. And between that and like Gun Survive, like Operation Raccoon City, shit that nobody gave a shit about, Resident Evil was fucking dead.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 7 came out. Holy shit, it's back. And Resident Evil 8, even though I personally do still like Resident Evil 7 more because I like the house, that's just because I like the setting more. The gameplay and the story and everything about 8 is perfect. Everything is perfectly timed. Nothing takes too long. Even, the problem with 7 was everyone thought the tanker went a little too long. And the factory, people are like, it goes a little too long. I thought it gets in and gets out. It's not too bad. With the exception of the one thing I hate, which is Mercenaries mode, which that's only because of a trophy. This game, you don't ever have to touch that, and it's still a great game, right? I feel like the story of Ethan Winters that started in 7 and ends in 8 and is complete and over and done. The last frame of that game is them saying the story of the father is now done. You know exactly. There's no like, what's going on with Ethan? What did this mean? They explain everything about Ethan. Ethan is a open and closed book. They have a great place to go in the future with Rosemary. So like the future of Final Fantasy is secure, and 8 is a top to bottom survival horror / action adventure masterpiece. It's the best game that came out this year, bar none.
I think it is the best standalone game that came out this year.
Fuck you.
So in the end, our top 10 list for game of the year this year, 2021, the year of our Lord, is 10, Forza Horizon 5, 9, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, 8, Guardians of the Galaxy, 7, Persona 5 Strikers, 6, Psychonauts 2, 5, Deathloop, specifically the PS5 version, 4, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, 3, Hitman 3, 2, Final Fantasy XIV EndWalker, and our game of the year is Resident Evil Village.
This has been... Okay, I want to get real for a second.
Yeah.
This is what, episode 12?
Yeah, episode 12. We've been doing this now
half a year. We started like July-ish. This started as a dumb joke when I was streaming, and I said we should make a podcast called I Have More Trophies Than You, and we've been doing it. And people have been listening.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this last time. When I was at the Mega 64 show in Portland, I had multiple people come and be like, hey, I listen to your podcast. It's great. Holy shit, that means a lot. I know that not a huge amount of people listen to this show, but if you're listening to the show right now, I just want to say thank you. This is a dumb, fun thing that me and Chris do, mostly just to entertain ourselves, and we're just glad that anyone's listening.
Yeah, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, like, thank you everyone that has listened this year. I'm so blown away by like the warm reception that we have been getting, because granted, I'm not, out a lot. I don't socialize a lot with a lot of people online. I kind of just stick to like, my certain little group or clique or whatever you want to call it.
And I'm terminally online.
But like, I've had people, and that's the thing too, is like I deal with a lot of like anxiety and depression and stuff. So I used to stream a lot, and this year it kind of like started doing less just because it was really getting to me. But anytime I've done streaming in this last few months when we've been doing the show, inevitably there will be one person that comes in that I'm not familiar with, and they'll say, hey, I came here because I listened to your podcast. And I'm like, oh my God, like, thank you. And it's always, very pleasant interaction. And you guys are always like super supportive, and it helps me just, and know that like what we're doing. Cause when Ryan said that, hey, I wanted to do this, and we kind of sat down and started, kicking the dirt, trying to figure out what we want to do. It was always just going to be a fun excuse for us to just hang out every 2 weeks and just talk to each other. And now I feel like, the ball is kind of rolling. Like, we're doing something that's really fun. I cannot wait to record every week. Like, it's such a boost of dopamine that I could always use. And
I made notes. I have notes. I bought a notebook for this show.
Yeah, like I have like a whole Google Doc that I just run as I'm doing this. And like, I'm looking at the analytics right now, and this is something I honestly, I don't care about. Like, I don't care how many people are listening to the show, but granted, that's in to say, like, hey, share it with your friends, because like, we want to make this bigger and better and stuff. But like, the numbers just go up and up and up, and it's just like,
people don't listen to it. I don't. It's like,
so
yes,
cool.
I agree.
It's so cool.
I'm doing this.
Like,
I'm not doing this for that. I'm doing this to talk with you about video games.
Right. But it's just like fascinating to me that like you guys are enjoying it as much as we are enjoying doing it. So
we're going to ask you one favor. We've asked you this before, but this is your Christmas present to us. All we want you to do, tell one friend who doesn't listen to us to check it out.
Yeah.
Don't harp them. If they go, it wasn't for me, that's fine.
Yeah, totally.
But tell one person who doesn't already listen, hey, I listened to this podcast. I thought it's pretty dope. You should listen to it. And if they like it, great. And if they don't, that's fine. But I just want to see how many more people we can get out there to listen to us. Because the more people that listen, the more people that can write in, and the more fun things that'll happen.
Exactly.
That's it.
And also, if you have a way into game.
If you know anyone that works at GameFly,
David Gamefly.
David Gamefly.
We're looking for you.
Love to get sponsored by GameFly. What a great end of our first year. I can't wait to do this. A year from now, we're going to do this again. And we're going to have a whole year's worth of video games that came out to talk about, and a whole year's worth of episodes that we can talk about for those first categories. And that's going to be fun. Do you have any final words to the end of 2021?
I mean, the only thing left is just like, say thank you again. Like, dude, you guys are the best. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for sharing with us. Like, thank you for listening. I hope that we can continue to make something cool for you guys next year. And I hope you guys play more games. Like, get more trophies.
Play more games, get more trophies, and listen to this show. But always remember, at the end of the day, no matter how many trophies you get and how many games you play, one fact will always be true.
And what's that fact?
That I will always have more trophies than you.
Hey, I just wanted to pop in here at the very end and thank everyone again for listening to the show this year. It means so much to us. We did kind of miss out on a couple things that we meant to address really quickly, but we got a couple thank yous for the last episode of the year that are very deserved, and I wanted to make sure to shout out those people real quick. As we kind of wrap up here and in 2021. So first and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Supsuka, on Twitter for making the cover art for the show, and most of the assets around that. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you a million times. I love you very much. She's also been the number one supporter in the background, always cheering us on. So thank you. Can't do this without you. You're the best. I also want to give a huge shout outs to Gav, or Gav1207 _ or at Woke Up High 420. Same person, a million different usernames, but Gav, you're the best. Gav does a lot of our thumbnails for YouTube and also like the trailers that we throw on Twitter. He also did the banner that we have on Twitter. So Gav does a lot of our social assets as well and thumbnails for things. So Gav, you're the fucking king. Gav also did an audio pass for us on the previous episode. So huge shout outs, Gav. Thank you so much for all the help that you've been this year. We really can't do it without you. Thank you, dude. You're the best. And then huge shirt outs. If I had a shirt to give, I would give it to this person. And that is DeCurb, or at Kirby, and that's CIRBYY on Twitter. You can find them on SoundCloud at DeCurb, DA-CURB. They are the one that did the theme song for the show, and their work is fucking phenomenal. Like, seriously, if you guys haven't checked out his stuff yet, if you really dig the intro, go check his music out. It's fucking phenomenal. Again, at DeCurb, that's DA-CURB on SoundCloud. Go check out all of his stuff. Give him some support because he fucking rules. And his Twitter handle is at Kirby. That's CIRBYY. Go check them out. All of those people, huge helps to the show every single day. So I just wanted to pop in here and thank them and let them know that everything that they've done for us, we really don't take for granted. We love you guys so much. Thank you for helping us put on the show. And of course, thank you to everyone who has listened to the show in 2021. We cannot wait for 2022 to start doing the show again. We are not taking a break. We will see you in 2 weeks. That'd be 2 weeks from today. So the 14th of January will be the first episode of 2022, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. So I will see you in 2022. Thank you again to everyone who has listened to the show. I hope we can make it bigger and better for you guys next year. And until then, take care. Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at More Trophies Pod. That's MORETROPHIESPOD. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou@gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's DR_RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. That's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.